Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about chicken smoothies and cosplaying cowboys.
Two cursed things more cursed together.
Oh, it is so cursed this season. We're here today to discuss episodes 7 to 9 of season 9 of Love is Blind. Somehow, in a world where the Houston season exists, the most cursed season of this show.
It's actually unreal. And joining us to break down all of the drama and generally unsettling vibes is Alison Roman, author of the forthcoming cookbook, Something from Nothing, host of the Solicited Advice podcast, and author of her newsletter called A Newsletter.
Welcome to Love to See It. Sorry for all of the homework, but I'm so glad you're here because actually cooking is a very important part of the narrative.
That's
specifically
right.
Cooking chicken smoothies. So I'm glad we have you here.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
We need a real expert to just break down what went wrong.
Yeah, when we were watching it, I had left the room briefly to go to the bathroom, and my husband, who of course was watching it with me, he paused it, and he came back. He's like, I had to pause it because this part is extremely important for you specifically, and you'll need to discuss this. And he was right. Boy, do we need to discuss
He
it.
was right, and I have to commend Max for his great instincts.
Yes.
So
what a nightmare.
shout out to him. Before we get into all of this drop, just a little bit of housekeeping. Reminder to everyone listening, we covered Love is Blind France over on Rich Text, and we will have an episode coming later this week about Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl. So you can find all of those episodes over at claireandemma.substack.com.
So let's dive into it. We're in the middle of the honeymoon when we dive back in. We're in the middle of a horrible fight in the middle of the honeymoon between Joe and Madison.
I was like, oh, the fight's not over.
Where to start, guys? Truly, where to start?
I mean, I guess we have to start at the beginning, which is in the middle. So, when we come back in, Madison is sitting outside the room crying because she came back and Joe is incoherent and still drunk and doesn't recognize her outfit from earlier.
Right. At which point I'm sort of screaming at the TV, like, girl, he's drunk. He's so drunk. He's so wasted. And she's like, I don't understand. I'm like, what? Don't you understand? At that point, you have to just be like, we are not speaking anymore.
Exactly.
And that's it. There's no reasoning. She's so confused. And there's nothing confusing about it. He's a mess.
I think that Madison is not just confused. I think that she is mad that he got so drunk.
Of course, but she never says that.
She is right, but she doesn't want to express that directly. She wants to express that she is confused, that she is embarrassed, that she is concerned. Those are acceptable emotions, I think, for her as the partner in the relationship, as the fiance.
That's very generous.
And to be like, I'm angry at you for getting wasted at this party in the middle of the afternoon and needing to leave. She should have said
that. But she should have said that.
She's less comfortable saying that.
Right.
Yeah. And
I had this feeling multiple times during this run of episodes where I was like, people who are drunk and exhausted should not be allowed to speak. They need to be separated into their corners and say, we need to revisit this in 12 hours.
But that's like the whole honeymoon. Like,
I was
they're
going to
just
say, I
drunk
think
and
the producers
exhausted the whole time.
Yeah, the producers literally feel the opposite. They're like, okay, how sleep deprived and drunk can we get these people? And then put them in a situation where they're already probably freaked out. There's cameras around. It's gonna be a mess. It is every time. There's two episodes or two sort of segments of the show that 9 seasons in we know will always be a mess, right? And one is the night after the first party where everyone gets together in Mexico or wherever they are. And one is the first party that they go to where they see the people that didn't get on the show because they weren't a couple. And we are blessed to be discussing both on this particular episode.
Yeah,
I know.
Jam-packed. So I'm going to run us through kind of how the blow-by-blow of this unfolds so that we can discuss the high notes of what happens here. Madison goes to sit outside the room crying. She clearly wants Joe to hear her crying and to demonstrate that he is a caring partner by coming out to check on her, but he does not take this bait. Instead, he's like, I can hear you crying, like calling her out for trying to get his attention. And he's like laughing at her. I found his attitude very dismissive and off-putting. Madison says this is so fucking embarrassing and eventually comes in, like gets ready for bed, crawls into bed with Joe. At this point, he gets out of bed and is like, did we get dinner tonight?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I think that all of this is being like we're sort of discussing this like as if we're dealing with two rational people. One of
Yeah.
the people in this situation is so drunk. Like I haven't seen a person this drunk on camera in a long time, in like a minute.
Same.
I don't actually remember ever, and I've been
Yeah.
very drunk. When was the last time I was so drunk that I didn't remember my last meal that I had? I don't think that's ever happened to me.
I don't know. It's been at least a decade.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty unsettling that he got this drunk on their first group outing together, and he doesn't even remember if they got dinner. She finally tells him that it's embarrassing to be sitting crying by herself while her fiance is lying in bed and doesn't care. He's like, why would it be embarrassing? And she's like, I just explained why it was embarrassing. And he is so unable to engage with this that he goes to his defense mechanism, which is to laugh, like, isn't this ridiculous? Which really pisses her off.
Well, he's a child.
And he's a child.
He
He's a
is a very
27-year-old child.
immature
I
27-year-old child, and it's
This season
rough when you're
is-
an emotional
this whole
woman,
season.
and
I
you're
mean, I think that this particular couple and this particular fight brought something to my attention, which made me think two things. One, there should be an age limit on this show, like because I don't personally think that anyone at 26 should be getting married. Sorry to anyone listening who has been married at 26. I think that at that age, it's like you're simply too young. I think that you're a baby, you're a child bride. And I think that I'm more interested in seeing a Love is Blind where people are like 35 plus. Give me someone who's like really going into this being like, I'm actually pretty evolved, because all these fights, especially this one, they're so young and so underdeveloped. I'm like, I can't even
Yeah.
take you seriously.
I know their frontal lobes formed a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm like, well, first of all, I like mess, and the younger seasons are just so much
That's true. Yeah.
messier.
It would be so much
But
less
also, like,
entertaining.
I was 24 when I met my husband. Like, we had some messy fights, but like,
But you didn't get married
You know-
after 2 weeks.
no,
to be
that's
fair.
absolutely true. But I do think that I could. I don't think that it's reasonable to expect this behavior from a 27-year-old man. I think it's reasonable to expect more maturity from a 20. He is 3 years away from being 30. Like,
Yeah.
he cannot handle conflict without starting to laugh at her. And then he says, I can't believe you're doing this right now. And she's like, me? I'm doing this? And they finally reach such an impasse that Madison goes to sleep in the other room.
That
And when
was
she-
the smartest thing that she did, I think.
Like, this time, I think she's genuinely planning to be in the other room and not hoping that he'll come after her. And he's like, well, what do you need from me? I don't want you to leave. I don't understand why you're angry. I feel like this just isn't warranted. Like, he doesn't understand why she's upset. But to be
Because
fair, I don't
he's
think he understands
drunk.
anything.
He's so
Yeah.
beyond drunk. I also don't think he likes her.
He
well,
doesn't like her.
This is the underlying
That's
issue
the
that's
He doesn't
just
like her.
there for all of their conflicts.
Yeah, and
is
that becomes even more notable when they are purportedly made up or having a nice time together, and you can still tell that he doesn't
It's
like
so
her.
No, I'm
tense
like,
and
he
so awkward.
hates
That
this
comment he
woman.
made in like
Mm.
the episode prior about her body and what the women he
I
typically
know.
goes for, I was like, you've lost me forever. I'll hate you forever.
Yeah.
100%.
And this is done, and you'll never recover from this.
Yeah, and that was him trying to be nice, I think, which is
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the kind of guy that thinks he's a good guy because he's not overtly horrible, but he's not a good guy because he's never honest, and he is
it's cruel.
Yeah,
His behavior
this
is cruel. Like, he
it's
doesn't
awful.
understand that at a certain point to continue pretending you're investing in someone that you're never going to get there
Yeah.
with becomes mean. And I don't think it's wrong for him to give this a chance, but like over the course of this run of episodes, I was like, dude, you got to call it at some
They're
point.
not
He's
the
not
only
actually
couple that
giving it
are
a chance.
pretending.
Yeah, no, that is
This
a
season.
huge problem this season. But she goes and sleeps in the other room. Joe finally admits to the camera that he has no idea what's going on because he hit his limit of alcohol, and that is why he left the party. Oh, so you were
Yes.
super fucked up, Joe.
One
The
of our
next-
listeners did point out, who like lives in Denver, pointed out that sometimes when people who have been used to a very high elevation go to sea level and start drinking, that they probably don't feel anything for the first like 2 to 4 drinks.
Oh, it's
And
like the
so it can
opposite
be-
of a person that goes
Yes,
to altitude.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the opposite. And so like she was like, to be fair, sometimes that you can turn a corner very quickly. So
I think that really also meshes with the fact that I think a lot of these guys seem like they are very hard drinkers and like live a party lifestyle.
right, and they live a party lifestyle at a very high elevation.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything about it is elevated. They're going
Yeah.
hard across the board. Yeah.
But I think that like the women are also all from Denver and they seem pretty alarmed that the men got this drunk.
Well,
so that is what I will say
unsurprisingly,
to the other side of that.
The women have a better handle on like
Everything.
everything.
Like you don't even need to try to get drunk at a mixer that's being filmed where you're meeting your fiance's friends for the first time. Like, what are you doing? Just have 3 drinks and calm down.
I
No,
think
you
that
have to take shots
they're
with
masking the
Jordan.
fact that they all realize they've made a huge mistake and that they're like have to go through with it because they want to be on
Yeah.
TV so bad. And they're like, well,
Correct.
shit, now I'm in it. And they're drinking through it.
Yeah, they're like,
No.
well, I'm trying to have fun. I got to
Yeah.
dissociate somehow.
So the next morning, Joe and Madison make up.
Oof.
It's the most just like uncomfortable. It's sort of like when you tell your child they have to apologize to
It
a kid
was
on the playground and they don't
awful.
actually feel sorry. Like Joe is apologizing. He is saying, I know you wanted to be heard and I did not do that. I am so sorry. I will do better. I'm here for you. But it doesn't seem genuine at all. It
He's
doesn't
like,
seem
I
like
do
he
understand
wants-
that you were upset and that I do not want to make you upset. I was like, what is happening here? Like, it was
Right.
so.
He's going through the motions. He's
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
he's
It's like there's like
"Yes,
a gun poking
I-
into his back. He's like, I will say the things that need to be said.
He's
I'll
not
say the
even good enough to
scripts."
be like, he's not even a good manipulator. He's like not one of those
Yeah.
characters where you watch and you're like, damn, you're an asshole because you're so good at manipulating. He's so bad at
Right.
it. And she's so, like, the bar must be so low for this girl for her to receive this from him and her to be like, you do love me because I'm like,
And
Right,
that
she just
is,
wants
to be
to be
honest,
manipulated,
where
yeah.
I felt the 26-year-old. Like she
Yes.
is the youngest person in the cast, and I felt that just
tough.
like that. Like I felt something in the pods. You said you love me. I'm gonna white knuckle my way through this, even though like she's kind of starting to hate him too.
Yeah.
But she will wait until he like destroys her.
Yeah.
It's not
So
gonna
they
go well.
decide that this fight is just a sign that they're still figuring each other out. And Joe says he has an easiness in his heart and he does want to marry her.
I was like, you do not.
Ladies,
But
if a
okay.
man ever says he wants to marry you the way that Joe said it to you, he does not want to marry you.
He doesn't.
like you. And
He
he's not
doesn't.
even trying that hard to pretend.
He's not.
It's so tough. Let's talk about Anton and Allie during this portion of the drop.
Yeah, we get a few like short moments with each couple before they head into a second mixer. So Allie and Anton, I think, have a quite telling conversation that lends some insights into Anton's gender politics. They are chatting and Allie's like trying to be cute. And she says, have you ever let anyone paint your nails or put makeup on you? And Anton responds as if Allie has just like pointed a gun in his face and like threatened to shoot his dick off.
Horrified.
Like,
He is
no.
horrified.
he's like, fuck no. Fuck no, what? Do I look like the kind of guy who wears makeup? Do I? Like,
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
down.
What would you look like? Like, what would make you
Yeah.
look like that kind of guy?
It's giving
If
the
you
lady
had
doth
eyeshadow
protest too
on?
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's giving
Yeah.
internalized homophobia, or not, or maybe not even internalized. Maybe
yeah,
it's-
overt.
yeah.
Maybe
overt.
It's, overt. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's there's
tough.
a
giving
lot of
fragile masculinity.
Weirdly shocking, maybe not shocking. Maybe I haven't spent, I mean, I've been to Denver once, approximately one time, but I was sort of taken aback at how conservative the people were.
We had the
Same.
same reaction.
Yeah.
I was expecting like, they're just so outdoorsy and it's like
Yeah.
Denver's, it's an urban center.
A lot
I
of
always
tech
assume like
companies. Yeah.
like a liberal
Oh, well,
bastion.
tech is not going in a good direction
That's,
politically
you
right
know what?
now.
That's so fair. But I didn't realize it was so religious.
Yeah,
guess.
I guess there is a good amount
The
of
Venn
both
diagram of
of
like
those
political
parts
concern.
of the Trump coalition.
That's not this podcast. We can
Yeah.
move on. But yeah, anyway, I was sort of shocked by that, but not surprisingly, that sort of because
Yeah.
he's sort of presented as so progressive. I think of all the men on the show that made it this far, seemed like the most sensitive, the most like progressive, the most like
He did say he really believes strongly in traditional gender roles in the pods.
Oh, he did? I glossed over
Yeah.
that maybe.
There's a problem, which is that there's so many people that it's really hard
Yeah,
to keep
it's
track of
hard.
what they're saying.
That's
Like, he
true.
does seem like kind of soft-spoken and like they had such a nice connection. And then you start to see these like the fragility pop out a little bit more in this batch. Like he's like, oh, I'm au naturel. What you see is what you get. And I'm like, you're covered in tattoos. Like you've got a little pompadour. Like all gender is performance, my guy. But like he has that very, like I see this content now. I get served TikToks and stuff of women being like, when my son asks to play with my makeup, I just say no. That's for
Ugh.
girls. It's so easy. And I'm like, why
That's
are we doing
wild.
this discourse again? We let boys wear makeup and it's fine.
Oh,
It's
I don't. Of all
fine.
I have so many friends with sons that wear dresses on the regular, and there is absolutely
Yeah.
zero
Yeah.
issue, and no one's like concerned in a way. I mean, granted, we're
Yeah.
in this bubble, maybe perhaps over here we're not. I don't
But
live in
like
Denver.
no one should be concerned. Like
No.
let boys have fun.
I've never even thought
and
of it.
play.
Yeah. It's
In
and
2025, it was a shocking
Yeah.
response. Let's put it that way.
well, and it was filmed like over a year ago, I think. And
Yeah.
one of our listeners in our rich text chat on Substack, which we get to talk about the show while you're watching, if you ever want to check that out, pointed out like that on the Minnesota season, the men were very cagey about their conservatism. And this season, there is so much overt display
They're
of that
really-
conservatism. And that was even
there's
a
no
year ago.
feeling there's no feeling that like maybe this is something to low-key be ashamed about. It's just like, no, of course I am not the kind of man who would paint my fingernails.
Maybe my
Yeah.
daughter could, you know, I'm
Maybe.
allowed to be near nail polish. And when it's part of being a patriarch of a family,
Yeah.
you know,
But
in
you know
that
what's
case, maybe.
even more so, I would, if I had to guess, he's probably not the most conservative guy on the show.
Oh, no. Well, we had Mike, you know, there are a lot of, we have
Nick.
Nick.
We have
who-
Nick.
Don't get me
Um,
started on Nick.
But
We'll
let's
get
talk
there.
about Megan and Jordan first. So they also have to kind of hash things out after the mixer because Jordan got too drunk and was being annoying, and she told him he was being annoying. And he had been my favorite guy up to this point, and I was really like, it was giving me the ick. And she's clearly upset after the mixer. He's like, was hanging out with Nick that bad?
This is the first time I realized that a good at least half of the cast hates Nick.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that until episode 9.
Until
When
the
everybody
second
was
mixer.
starting to
This-
drop the
well,
clues.
This was
Yeah.
the first hint of it that I got. I was like, oh, okay, clearly they have an inside joke about how Nick sucks. Noting that.
Which imagine being the bad vibes guy on a season of guys with such bad vibes.
By
like
far
even
and
they
away,
don't like you.
I made a note in my phone. I was like, as like an avid Love is Blind watcher, never in my life have I seen a group of more unappealing men. Like unremarkable.
no, it's
men.
alarming.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think like it was also the first time Megan, you could see it on her face. She was like, oh, I'm a woman and this is a boy. And how are we going to do this? Because I do
Yeah.
think that she was sort of like talking herself into the marriage a bit, being like, is it just the money thing? Am I being weird about the money thing? But I think at this stage, watching him get so drunk and like
She's
behaving
like,
the way
is he
that
just
did,
going to annoy the fuck out of
yeah,
me?
like, oh, is
Right.
it also like a maturity thing? Like, is
And
he
she's like,
maybe
you were
immature?
here. Yeah, exactly. And sort of like Joe with Madison, she didn't even have a chance to express this because he was so drunk he couldn't even talk. But like, he wasn't there for her as a date to this event. He was goofing off with the guys and kind of ignoring her, not being there to support her, or like check in with her, or show to the other couples what their connection is. And Megan is saying that to Jordan. She's like, I want us to be a power couple and connect. And basically what she's saying is like, be my date. Like,
Yeah.
don't go over there and do a bunch of shots and then like act weird.
Yeah,
with the
I think that
guys.
all these couples show up to this first party together wanting every other couple to be like, damn, they're really
They're the
close.
best
They're
ones.
the best
Yeah.
one. Like they're really gonna make it.
And-
And Megan seems extremely competitive and extremely goal oriented and I mean,
Yeah.
she'll say as much, but like I think that's probably important to her, and like
Yeah.
at least the appearance that like they've got their shit together.
Edmund and Calibria actually already had the night before the fight about how he was comparing them to the other couples in the sense that they all got to get it in and he hasn't done that yet.
And he's so mad. He's so
Yeah.
mad about that.
She
But
won't
now
let him
they're
hit
making
it.
up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, this seems like another couple where the mixer kind of immediately killed the woman's genuine interest in the guy. And like in this case, I think because he had a sobbing meltdown and screamed at her that like he's so nice that she should have sex with him. And like, how do you get past that?
I don't know.
She's gonna try so hard.
Oh, she's really trying.
She is going to
They-
try really hard.
They like make up. He's like, I'm sorry. I wanted you before marriage. I hate how they talk about it like this. Like, I wanted to have you. I wanted you before. Like, she's there. You're talking about her
No, he's
vagina like it is her. Like, your possession of her is like getting to go in the vagina.
I do
Yeah.
think he feels that way.
Yes.
I am sort of surprised that they didn't discuss that before. Like that feels like pod
Apparently
convo.
they
Apparently they
did.
did.
Oh,
She
they did.
said
Okay.
that was something she told every single
Oh,
person
yeah.
in the
I mean, I feel
pods.
like she was very clear in that bed about being like, this is who I am. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like
No,
she was
she's like,
putting
this is
him
a
on.
decision I made. She's
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
is a decision I made that you were aware of. And I think that's also why she was responding so strongly to the fact that he was clearly comparing himself to the other men. She's like, you already knew this. This isn't new information. So what you're upset
Yeah.
about is that you feel like if other guys got to have sex, you like deserve
Yeah,
to
she's
do it.
Aren't you as
extremely
good as
smart.
them?
She's very
Aren't you as-
intelligent, and she's like
Yeah.
approaches every argument or conversation from like an extremely intellectual perspective and like psychoanalyzing, and is like obviously well versed in a lot of that. And he just isn't there, and he's
Yeah.
sort of speaking from a highly reactionary emotional place, and he's like,
100%.
I want this, and she's like, it's
You
not
don't.
And
quite
I
a
think
match
also,
there.
like, I think that he thought that that was like up for negotiation. She would be so attracted to him.
They're so
she
in
would be so
love.
excited. They're so in love. That's not happening. Now he's also hearing the other guys are getting it. So he's jealous. He's also like, I didn't really think she would stick to this. What's
Totally.
wrong with me? And she's like, nothing has changed. So I don't really understand.
Yeah.
But he's trying to save face. So he's like, I'm thankful that you're saving this as something special between us. And like, I understand.
Yeah,
And
which might
she's
be
like-
true. And maybe he was really
Sure.
drunk that night. Again,
Yeah.
like just because
think they
Joe
all-
was
yeah.
so obviously drunk and Jordan was so
No, they
obviously drunk, I
definitely
think
were all
everybody is pretty
drunk.
wasted.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. And KB is like, well, this helped me learn about you, so that's good. But she's like, I am a little stuck on that exchange. And
I
like,
would be too.
I think that what she means is it has killed my romantic
Lady
interest in this
boner.
man. It will never come back. But like, she can't admit that yet. Nick and Annie have some chats about what will happen when they go back home. And Annie tells Nick that when she told her dad she was going on Love is Blind, he said that he hoped she could find someone manly enough to be with her.
Oh my God, the theme of this season is just this gender anxiety. It is
Yeah.
so wild.
It's
It's in like
tough.
almost every single relationship.
And Annie's like, yeah, I mean, that doesn't really matter to me, but that's definitely what my dad cares about. And Nick's like, okay, I guess I'll just like bring my tool belt to meet your dad.
And she's like, and your emotional supportiveness. And he's like, tools. I mean,
the thing
I'm
that
at
I
least
took
glad
away,
he didn't say something about bringing his chode to meet her dad.
Oh my
because, like,
God.
he brings almost every conversation back to either his genitals or toilet humor. So
he
I-
is
Speaking of
11
being
years
manly.
old.
He's
The defining characteristic of Nick is that he is a repressed 11-year-old. And the defining characteristic of Annie is that she just wants to be married very, very, very badly.
very
And so
badly.
she will just decide that she's in love with someone and like, that's it.
They're giving arranged marriage in that like it's a business deal. And he is so repressed. I want to fly to Denver myself and take him to the club. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to
know.
free him. We need to free him.
yeah, he has nothing to lose but
No.
his
He would
narrow
kill.
self-conception.
He would
yeah,
kill.
absolutely. I think that we see this also in like how most of their relationship that we see is just them telling each other how much they love each other.
But with nothing, it's so unearned.
It's just
You're
like, I
what is
love
the
you so
substance
much.
here?
He's
I
very
love
robotic.
you so much.
And she's
Yeah.
so something.
Anxious. She's
Yeah.
like frazzled all the time. I don't
wouldn't
know.
you be if you were like, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that there's so much in these dynamics, theirs especially, where it's like, I love you. And then the other person's like, I love you too. And the other person's like, I don't think you do. And the other person's like, why are you being crazy? I just said I love
do.
you. And the other person's like,
Yeah.
well, because I have like, I'm perceptive and I can tell that even though you're
Right.
saying the words, you don't mean it. And thus
That's the
begins this
thing.
weird cycle of you're insecure. And it's like this weird gaslighting thing. But like, good
Mhm.
Lord, that couple.
Right. There's
is-
clearly a lot that's being picked up on in
Yes.
the Nick and Annie dynamic that isn't being said. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we will get into the rest of the honeymoon.
And we're back. So it seems like the next night they have another mixer and the girls all chat. Madison, Calabria, and Megan all admit that they had fights after the mixer with their partners. And they've all like made up at this point. And so they're kind of like spinning like, oh, like at least we're learning more about each other. And
It
Madison's
was a good
like,
thing.
we're front loading conflict and then we'll be able to move on. And she also says that they had more great sex. So maybe that's helping her feel like secure. And it is this fun thing where like the couples who had fights are insecure about having had fights. And then the couples who haven't had fights are like, we have a fake relationship until we have a fight. So Allie's like, I am waiting for conflict to come up with Anton, but there hasn't been anything yet.
Yeah. Well, just wait, sweetie.
Yeah.
I would
don't
have fought with
worry.
him about the nail polish thing, but Allie and I are built different.
Yeah.
I once got in a fight with my then boyfriend's friend at a bar about how he wanted his girlfriend to take his last name when they got married. Like, I don't give a fuck.
But,
like, but I did
will
fight with him
I'll
about
pick a
it.
fight with any man.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. But Allie is a little bit more sweet-natured.
Yes, she seems very tender. I think that she's really looking for a fire, is what she's looking for. And I think she interprets conflict as a sort of demonstrative fire. And so she lacks maybe the verbatim, like the words to articulate that, but she's like, I want to fight. Like really what she's looking for is like passion or fire, because what she has is sort of like,
It's so even keeled
Yeah.
right now.
I actually think that what we also start to see from them is that, and maybe she's already starting to sense this, is that Anton will not get into conflict, even if you can tell that he is unhappy with you, or
Right.
he's annoyed, or he disagrees with you. He'll just be like, okay, and move on to something else.
He
Very
also seems to
passive-aggressive.
be
And
the
she's
kind
trying
of person.
to needle it out of him.
He also seems to be the kind of person who is not trying to like share things that he thinks might cause any conflict. So I feel like she's almost like digging at him, both to like get out those frustrations and also to understand more about him. Because he's like painted a
Yeah.
picture for her. And as we see over the course of this drop, that begins to be like punctured a bit.
KB also says to the gals that Edmund is not an alpha male, which makes her a little nervous. Yeah, she's getting the ick. It's over. The boys also chat, and it's mostly not that interesting, but Jordan does share that he and Megan tiffed about the mixer. And he has not said this to her that we can see, but he seems upset that she said he was annoying her. And he feels that was abrasive, and she could have like phrased it a little nicer
Softer.
or lighter. Which I would have the same reaction in his shoes, but he was being like so annoying.
She
he
was
was
telling
being
the truth.
so annoying. Also, Megan, I wouldn't classify her as like a especially soft person,
Right.
which is
And
maybe
he
why
seemed,
part of
like,
the attraction.
drawn to that.
You know?
Yeah. No, men are always drawn to like a woman who challenges them, you know, in that initial courtship phase. And then very quickly they're like, be nicer. Stop it.
Yes.
At some point during these chats, one of the guys brings up that it's only 3 weeks until the weddings, and Joe seems really shaken by
Joe,
this.
I was like, Joe, were you not given the filming schedule? Like it's like this is new information to Joe. He's like, three weeks? the wedding?
I feel like this man is
Joe.
just
Really
like
tough.
Clock
either
in.
zanned out or just like he's compartmentalized. Like in his mind, he's on a beach somewhere alone by himself, and
It
he's
might
just
be
floating
pills.
through
You're right. I
this.
hadn't even
He has-
considered that it might be pills.
I just think he has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
He's just like
He's not
on like a
clocking in.
beta blocker like every single episode. I have to shout out to the editors because at this point we start to get all of these quick cuts between all of the faces of the cast, and then Dochi's anxiety starts to play.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm also glad you brought that up because I just wanted to say, sort of apropos of nothing, that the music this season, unbelievable.
Incredible.
Like they must have just paid more, or like the music
Yes, the
library
music budget.
situation.
The music budget
Incredible.
is fucking crazy
Great
for
job.
this season.
Incredible.
It's
Yeah.
Carly Rae Jepsen?
so good.
What?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I feel like they were like, we've really overused the same songs in our free library too
They're
many
like, boop, bop.
times.
Yeah, we've heard all that.
People
song.
are starting to notice.
Yes.
So the
We
mixer
noticed.
ends.
Yeah, and thank you.
I just
That's
have
what
to
we're
hand
saying.
it to whoever is in that room in post because they were like doing art.
Yeah. And like it's at the moments like this, I'm like, this is cinema. Like you're using the form to really like emphasize, like bring
was
out
beautiful.
the story here, which is that they're all starting to question. They really are like at this point, all starting to question their partners after like 3 days.
Mhm.
And the mixer ends with Jordan asking the other men if the weddings were tomorrow, would they be in or out? And apparently they all say that they aren't sure what they would do, which
like,
isn't that surprising.
Sure. Yeah,
At
it's
this
been
point.
it's been 3 days. Then after the mixer, Annie and Nick, who have not had a fight, get into a really kind of deranged fight.
Mhm.
It was another instance where I was like, you are tired and drunk. Do not pass go. Stop speaking.
Really tough.
But
Tough to
Annie will
watch.
not stop speaking because she is picking up on those things that you mentioned before, Alison, and feels like she is more in this partnership than Nick is.
Because
and so
she
those
is.
anxieties.
Yeah.
because
She fully is.
I think she is correct, but she is not in a place to productively express those sentiments.
No, but she also,
Right.
yeah, like once your speech begins to like run into each other, we got to
That's
shut
the
it down.
thing.
And
Yeah,
Nick at
but
no
it's-
point was like, we're going to stop this conversation.
If
I
there is
love
a
you.
hint of a
Good night.
slur,
Because he doesn't love her and he didn't care. And they just kept talking.
Exactly. Like the Annie on the surface is acting extremely crazy
Erratically.
and erratic. But at the same time, the more I rewatched this scene, and I did like 3 or 4 times, you're welcome. I was like, she is right that he does keep being like, you need to go to sleep. I love you. We'll talk about this later. When she's clearly not ready to. And what she wants is like for him to be there with her in this uncomfortable moment. And he's kind of kindly dismissing her. And that is reinforcing that feeling that she's clearly trying to address that he doesn't care as much. She's like, you don't even want to talk to me about it right now.
and the problem is he just doesn't care as much.
Right. He's like,
But-
I don't want to talk about it because I don't care.
Yeah. I think it's like, I mean, that's funny because I just said that he should do the thing that he did, I suppose. But like doing it in like a caring, loving way is very different. But like, we've all been
Yes.
there. If like one of you is like, you're kind of not right mind in this moment. And I think we should talk about this, but maybe in the morning. And I value you and your feelings are valid. And like, let's do this tomorrow. But like, again, that's like a very evolved approach. And this was not that.
Yeah. And I think part of what's happening is that like she's having these anxieties all the time, but she is normally able to keep them
Correct.
under lock because she knows it's not like a cute look. And when she's like exhausted and drunk, it's hard to keep the lid on. So Nick brings up the hypothetical that Jordan posed to the guys, and he's like, we all said we weren't sure what we would do because we want to take those next steps. It's about taking the time to explore. And Annie is like, well, I'm sure right now. And I don't care what other people say and feel. Like, I think it's okay for us to be sure right now, basically. And he's like, well, I want to just take the steps to get to know you even better. I think that's beautiful that I want to do that. And she's like, fine, take your steps. But she seems pretty annoyed that he needs any steps because she is already there. She loves him so fucking much. And what else is there to say?
It's also like, I don't actually think she loves him. I think she's irritated that he's just not like, let's just fucking get it done.
She doesn't have to love him so fucking much to be very insecure that he doesn't love her as much as she
100%.
wants
That's
him
the
to.
thing. I think
Exactly.
what we are seeing here is first and foremost her own insecurities. And she has convinced herself that she has nothing to question. And that's
Yeah.
the thing that bums me out actually about Annie is I'm like, girl, you would be better off if you were also taking this time to figure out things about him and question in a real way whether he is the partner for you.
But this is what can happen sometimes when we set women up to like just find a man, settle down. Like, you're so lucky if a man chooses you, because men don't want to get married, but like maybe one day you'll be so blessed a man will choose you.
Mhm.
It sort of teaches you to enter a relationship always directing all your
Grateful.
energies towards, you're grateful to be picked, and then all your energy goes to trying to read them to see if they're about to take away this gift, as opposed to like, if they're making me feel not loved, not
Yeah.
happy,
Do
like,
I want this?
maybe do I want
Right.
this? She's 100% focused on whether he is fully committed. And to be fair to her, his whole courting strategy was love bombing. So it must be really disorienting to then have him start to pull back a little bit and be
Mhm.
like, I want to take the steps. I'm not really sure. Like, he is the guy who was always coming on so strong. That is why she picked him.
Yeah.
And also, this is kind of what we saw with Kate also, where he said,
Yeah.
I love you, I love you, I love you. And then, well, I'm still struggling. I'm
Right.
still struggling. I'm torn between you and someone else.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wait,
love you, but I
don't
love someone
God?
else more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And so he, at this point, this is the first time that he's like, never doubt how much I love you. That's what he told Kate right before he dumped her out of nowhere. Never doubt how much I love you. Get some rest. I'm going to pack. Tomorrow's a new day. And she's not in a headspace to do that. She's now wanting to fight this out. She's like, I feel like you're telling me to sleep it off. You don't get it. Like, that's not what I need right now. And he's like, well, I'm super excited to move forward through this process. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. And she's like, really? You don't feel like there's anything else you could say? Like, she clearly wants him to say, I'm sure I want to marry you.
Which he's not. So he shouldn't say that.
I don't
But
think
that's
that
what
he
she wants.
Yeah. Annie is like, I feel like I'm all in and you're not. And he says, I feel so strongly about you. Affirmation is important to you, but there'll be times when I want to give you affirmation and I won't be able to.
Is there
Okay.
a worse thing when someone says, I love you, and somebody says, I feel so strongly for you?
Right. He's constantly
Dagger to
like,
the heart.
is there
He's
worse
constantly
feeling?
downgrading.
Oof.
yeah, he loves to downgrade just a tad. Be like,
Yeah.
what? I still care for you so much.
He's managing expectations. He's manipulative.
Yeah.
He's not like
Yeah.
a Joe type where he's like sort of spineless. He's a little bit more calculating and a little bit more like, I'm going to
Yeah.
make this work out for me, and still technically not do anything wrong. He's like staying within
That's
the
the thing.
lines.
No, that is
Yeah.
exactly the thing. He's like, well, I'm telling you that I want to take the time to go through these steps, but I do love you, but I'm taking the time to explore. And isn't that beautiful? And
Yeah.
the whole time you can kind of feel that Annie is probably picking up on the fact that Nick maybe is going to be in this up to the line and then not
100%,
and
which
that
is
is her
just
fear.
now, from now until the altar, we'll just be sowing the seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
And that's what every single fight will be about.
And I think it's also like a lot of couples do actually take it as it's a yes until it's a no. And he seemed like he was in that sort of situation with Annie. They seemed very solid. And instead he's like, well, it's actually not a yes. And I think that it's reasonable for her to be a bit thrown by that.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So this just keeps escalating. He keeps trying to be like, let's go to sleep. And she keeps wanting to talk it through more. At one point, she's like, do you think you'll ever be there with me? And he pauses a little bit. You can't pause in this context. And then he finally says that he does. And she picks up on the pause, I think, above all. And she
Yeah.
bolts up in bed and says he's not meeting her and she does not need him in her life. She wants him. She doesn't need him. He doesn't have to be there. Her life will not fall apart without him. And she just keeps saying it. And the problem is that it's sort of unclear to what end.
Mhm.
And
Like-
he's like, yeah, no, I know. At this point, this was when I was like, Annie, you got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what she's expressing is on its face like a very healthy way to think about romantic partnership. Like, I agree, you should be with someone you want, but you don't need them. Your life will go on without them. That's beautiful. But she's saying it in this way that's so combative, and like it's not getting
It's like
her
to
anywhere.
hurt
She's
him.
just like,
It's to hurt
no,
him.
I
Right.
don't need you. I don't need you. You think I need you? I don't need you.
It seems like it must be to hurt him, because what else is she hoping to accomplish in the context of this argument by
Nothing.
saying that? Like, he's not saying, oh, well, you need me. And so that she's not responding to anything with that. And so he finally again is like, let's go to sleep. And she's like, you do whatever you need to do. She's feeling dismissed, so she's being dismissive to him. He's like, why are you doing this? And she's like, obviously I care more than you, and starts crying. He asks if he can sleep in bed with her, if she'd rather be alone, and she says she doesn't feel like he's understanding her. She loves the fuck out of him. She loves him so much. And he's like, no, yes, I'm right there with you.
Oof.
And
I'm
she's
right
like,
there with you. If I ever told my husband I loved him and he said, I'm right there with you, I would walk out of the room.
You'd be like, divorce.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm right there with you? Like if we were in a fight and I said, I love you, and he said, I'm right there with you, I'd be like, you're still mad at me, and we got to revisit that.
Yeah.
You know
Right,
what I
we
mean?
gotta-
I'm like,
we gotta
that's-
keep
you feel
talking.
uncomfortable saying the
Yeah.
words,
Oh.
I love you right now. So you're saying, like,
Terrible.
we are aligned. We're moving forward in tandem. Absolutely. And Annie says something garbled about how he thinks that he doesn't love her as much as she loves him. And like, Nick feels like at this point she's putting words in his mouth. He's like, I did not say those words. She's obviously just trying to say in clear words what she feels like he's conveying. But of course, that's making him feel like she's telling him what he thinks. And it's just like a huge mess. I don't even know how they could go to sleep in the state.
No,
that we
I was
leave.
like, these two are doomed. Like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So they head back to Denver and they get their phones back. They move into a soulless high rise with huge
They're
apartments.
so
with
bad.
But they have 2 bathrooms. Do you know what that is like? I don't. I'd love one
Claire.
of those. I love
Claire
sharing
needs
my
a second
I love
bathroom
sharing
so
my
badly.
one bathroom with my 2 sons and husband. I will
That
mention it every episode.
you deserve a medal for that, Claire.
I
That is-
know.
I deserve one of
Tough.
these units.
You do. You could go on Love Is Blind.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, then you need to move to Denver and live around these people. So
Yeah.
Is
not
that
worth
worth
it,
a
actually.
second
It's not worth
bathroom?
it. No. Nick, at this point, we see him immediately do 2 things that remind me that I hate him. He pretends to prank call Annie's brother
Oh
to
God,
introduce
that was
himself
so
to Annie.
awful and like cringy. And I'm like, are you so cheesy, or are you?
He's
like,
just
I'm like,
a child.
Ugh.
Everything is so juvenile. It's like, I'm doing a prank call, like I'm doing a Johnny Bravo pickup line. He also immediately tells Annie that they'll need designated bathrooms for number 2.
like
grow up.
We
Grow
grow the fuck up. Grow up, sir.
He's so unlikable. It's and granted, yeah. Again, I thought this from the second he like asked the question about their kids and like, what do you think about
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus? And I was just like, absolutely not, sir.
Yeah. No,
I
he's
don't
a
wanna see you on my TV.
homophobic adolescent, deeply repressed adolescent homophobe. But they do try to regroup after their big fight. And he says that it really put him off that she tried to tell him things he said that he didn't say. And she says, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. And I was really actually kind of taken aback by his response, which was,
Same.
it can't happen again.
Yeah, it can't
Like,
happen
ever.
again.
He is like issuing a hard line. And I think at this point, he is constructing himself a little out.
It was very
Yeah.
American Psycho. I was like, I'm afraid of you.
Yeah. Like, I understand absolutely having boundaries, but that seemed very extreme. And like, if it's such a deal breaker, why are you not gone already? That you're giving her just one chance, and if it happens
You have
ever
one more
again,
chance, and if you do it again,
Like-
I'm gone.
people are imperfect, you know? Like, she got really emotional and you had a terrible, bizarre fight.
Right.
And he says he's trying to climb a big mountain to get to where she's at, and
Which
it was
is,
a kick down the
again,
side.
Imagine a worse thing that somebody says to you if you're in love with them.
Right.
Or
Well, he keeps
allegedly.
being
so
like,
challenging to love you that I am like climbing Everest. It's the same.
Yeah.
this is
Like-
he's doing the downgrading thing constantly. He's telling her in Baja, I'm right there with you. He's like, I don't know why you feel like you love me more than I love you. Suddenly it's a mountain that he has to climb to get
And
to
she's
where
at
she
the top.
is. And
she's at the top. And he's at the bottom. He's at base camp 1. Like,
Well, especially now. He was up to like base camp 2. Now he's been kicked right back down. He's starting
basically
over.
punishing her. He's like, just so you know, I'm trying to get where you are. And then like you behaved poorly and now I'm less in love with you.
ding, ding, ding.
It's
ding,
so
ding,
fucked up.
ding.
But even in that, he's conceding that he already was less in love with her and he already was working so hard to get, like, it's constantly the story's changing. Is it weird that she's insecure because he's just as committed as her? Or does she need to really give him a lot of help and assistance to help him get all the way up to loving her the same amount? He also tells her that he loves falling in love with her and dating her, and he wants to keep dating her after the wedding. Christianity coded.
So much of that in this season.
Which
We
also is
also-
sort of setting her. I thought when I heard that, I heard he's going to say no, but he's going to couch it in, I just want to keep dating you.
Oh.
That's
Which we've
so
heard before in
interesting.
previous
Interesting.
seasons.
Because it is very Christianity coded to say, like, you date your wife for the rest of your marriage. Like, you never stop dating. You're always courting. Like, that's
But
part of your
also, it is a
spousal
convenient-
duties.
It is a convenient way to get out of saying yes at the altar. To
That
be like,
is
we
so
just
true.
need more time. Because we
Do you
all know
remember
they,
how I
they
said I
never
wanted
need
to
more
keep
time.
dating?
Yeah, I literally think he's constantly 40 steps ahead. And he's every time he's saying things like that, where he's saying, I'm right there with you, he's going to like be like, well, I never said I love you. Like he's going to.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I
think
meant I
he-
was with you on the same process, which we
Yeah.
quite literally were
Which
doing
I was.
together.
Yeah. I don't disagree with the concept that you should date your partner forever. And I didn't know that it was Christianity coded as like
That's interesting.
as a person
I-
who's so un in the Christian community.
I don't disagree with it either, and yet it is a very Christian coded
Okay, well.
thing to say. It's like a big part of like Christian.
Yeah, I would
like,
never say
evangelical
it,
dating
but it
advice
is something
you
that I'm
see.
like, I find value.
But
in
you're
that
like, yeah,
concept.
sure, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like in line with like and then you take your daughter on a date, like dating
Oh.
is just how we talk about building
No.
strong relationships around here. He takes her to his mountain home, which is all wood paneled. Like it's like a ski lodge Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks her if it's too mountainy, and she says no, it's perfect for him. And he says, for us. Maybe, I guess, if he gets up the mountain.
Which is
In
an
his
hour outside Denver. We later learned
More.
an hour.
More.
Yeah, more. But I think an hour from where she lives. So maybe she lives on
right.
like
Yeah,
right
she might
side of
live
town.
kind of
Sure,
on
sure,
the
sure. Yeah.
outskirts.
And in his garage, he shows her all his winter sports paraphernalia, his mountain bikes, his hockey sticks, his boats, his marathon memorabilia. I don't know when he had a chance to run all these marathons because we know he's 11 years old. Like it's, I didn't know that was
And I thought he'd been climbing a mountain. So how
He's
does
been
one have
doing
time
Yeah.
many
for
different things.
so many outdoor activities?
Well, he has time for a lot of activities, clearly. She tells him his boat sale is huge, and he says, I'm a size queen.
I'm
Which
sure you are.
tells us all we need to know.
Yeah,
I know, I'm like,
we know,
buddy.
Nick.
We know.
There's also a red vintage sports car. He's like, I love this thing. She's my baby. Well, you're my baby, but this is my side piece.
He just
Side
talks
pieces, size
about
queens. The editor did not love him in this conversation.
No.
what's to love.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they did. Maybe they were being generous. Maybe this is the nice version. We don't.
It
There's
makes
no way
it
to know.
seem like everything he says is just some sort of like repressed adolescent
The
tell.
virginity corner.
Oh, yeah. He shows her the virginity corner. He's like, my friends call this a virginity corner. And I'm like, how did you meet so many people who have the exact same personality
These
as
are
you?
probably the same friends that are on a group chat in which they discuss their curly dicks. So
Ugh.
Yeah. It's a gaming setup he built for race simulating, which I don't know much about that, but it does seem like kind of impressive that you could build that maybe. I don't
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
She's very impressed.
She's
And-
impressed with the whole thing. I think she's also
Yeah.
like she sees the house and the things, and she reads adult, she reads provider,
Yes.
she reads caretaker, she reads this is now mine ? She
Right.
reads he brought me here.
Right,
He
she's
must
like,
really
oh,
care
what a-
about me.
what a cool life we could lead. She's like,
Yeah.
we'll have
Yeah.
my apartment in the city because she needs to be there for work. And to his credit, he does seem like very supportive of that. He's like,
Yeah.
I know that you can't just like move out to my house. And so he's making it seem like this is like a joint investment. We'll have this like house in the mountains, and look how much I've already built for us. And then I'm
Yeah.
also supporting you in your career.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is
mind
sort of
the city. I'll live with you in the city for part of the time. It's fine. We
Yeah.
could even buy places anywhere, like Tahoe, or as he calls it, Mallorca.
I loved Mallorca. I said, maybe we should go to
killed me.
Mallorca.
Let's
They're
go
gonna
to
buy a home there.
Mallorca.
He doesn't even know how to pronounce it.
Tahoe. I'm like, why would you go from Denver to Tahoe? It's like the same place.
These people all just want to become like short-term rental kings.
That's why they liked Mike so much.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mike.
I mean, this whole house, I feel like depending on how you feel about Nick, you could read it two ways. One is wonderful, a man with hobbies. He knows how to get things done. Like he has built a lot for himself. The other is this man still lives basically the life of a child. Like he's like, I'm going to
He's
be
like, "Look at all
doing
my
all these
toys."
activities. Look at all my
Yes.
toys.
So many toys. This is like a man who is feels that he's living like the life of the kid in Blank Check.
Yes.
100%. That is the exact. He also kind of looks like the kid from Blank Check. Like that is the
does.
exact correct
I
analogy.
can't get
and
over
like,
how childlike his face is.
Yeah. They meet Nick's family, and Annie is so nervous about her hair because his mom is a hairdresser, which I believe Annie is also
also.
a hairdresser,
and
but
Annie and Nick's mom look alike.
they do.
There's some strong similarities.
Yeah, they do. There are actually a few family meetings where I thought it was the other family because the mom
Because they're all
looks
so
much
white and like
the-
look the same.
Yeah, they're all just. But even specifically, there's a resemblance between the mom and the fiance in a couple of them where it confused me extra. But this meeting goes incredibly well. They ask about what drew the two of them together, and Annie's like, things just kept clicking together. Like, do you want to have kids? Great. You have a brother? Great. You like watches and nice things? Great. You also want to travel? Great. I was like, Annie, stop.
I'm like, you have a brother? I have a brother. I'm like, well,
So
if
what?
that ain't love, I
Yeah.
don't know what is, sister. You know,
This is
Like,
really
what?
up there with like, we both have watched The Sound of Music. We
Oh
my
both
God,
have
we both have watched The
grandmothers
Sound of Music.
named Mary.
we
Like,
both like soup and snow peas. We could talk and not talk forever. Like,
We
what
could
are you?
not
What do you
talk or
mean?
talk for hours.
The fact that I have a brother, I actually have several brothers, and Greg has a brother is just like not super relevant to our
No.
relationship.
The fact that
I
we've
have
all
to
heard the
say.
song "I Hope You Dance" by Leanne Womack is not a sign that any of us should get married.
exactly.
Although congratulations to them.
yeah,
I mean-
no, I suspect they had other things connecting them
I think
other
Annie
than
just.
Leanne Womack.
I think Annie just actually couldn't think of that many things on her very long and shallow list of qualities that brought them together. She was like, what's something else that we had in common? Brothers, younger brothers, in fact. Great.
She's like,
Yeah,
we were
she's
both
searching
on
and
this
she's
show.
Great.
She's like, wait, the doors. No, sorry, that was Brendan. Can't
Yeah.
mention the blue and or red doors of the future house we don't have.
His mom also reveals that Nick hates conflicts, you don't say, and is incredibly sensitive and an old soul. He's so deep. Even when he was a child, he thought the stars were beautiful.
Oh,
This
that
woman
is
needs to
beautiful.
meet more children. This is an extremely normal
His mom
reaction
seems
to the night
lovely,
sky.
is what I'll say.
I know.
And
His
you
mom
kind of
does
think she's
seem
going to be the
lovely.
worst given how bad he is. She seems lovely.
No.
Well,
Well,
this
as
is
the
mom.
mother of a son, isn't it sometimes hard to look
I-
at that and be like, I could be the best mom in the world and I could raise Nick?
I refuse to entertain that as an option.
That's what you got to do. You got to put that
I
out of your
can't
mind.
imagine. I can't imagine. No, my son
Claire
is
is
perfect.
constantly
And remains
looking
perfect.
at the mothers of the men on these shows and being like, no,
Yeah,
that
I don't
fate
want that
must
life.
not befall me.
No, I also am like, what was she the one that was like, I would love her no matter what or something? Or is that another mom?
I mean,
Another
I
white
think-
mom?
I-
Where she's
yeah,
like,
no,
you
it's
could-
confusing.
Where it was basically like the sentiment was, you could introduce me to anyone and I would love them.
She was kind of like, I knew that you would be great because I raised such an amazing son. And so, of course, but she's even more great than I expected.
Okay.
And I was like, Annie is okay, and your son is not great at all. Like,
Yeah,
he
these
sucks,
bars are so
frankly.
low. I'm like, who are these
Yeah, we
people
gotta
meeting
raise
in life
them.
that anybody thinks whatever? That's so rude of
Yeah.
me to say.
I have a lot of questions about the general social culture of Denver, and I'm alarmed.
Same. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will get into the rest of episodes 7 to 9.
And we are back, and it's time to talk about Joe and Madison because they are getting ready to meet the family. And Joe is alarmed. I mean, Joe doesn't like Madison is the, again,
Right.
overarching
We could just
problem,
stop talking about them as a couple
Yeah.
right now and just like case closed. He doesn't like her. We got to move
He
on.
hates her.
The way that this argument unfolds, like, he's not even drunk during this one. It unfolds, however, sort of similarly. He's like, oh, I'm going to be the first partner you've introduced to your family. He's clearly even more freaked out now. She's like, no, it's going to be fine. They're so stoked for me. And actually, it's just freaking me out that you're freaked out. And he says, well, why aren't you already freaked out, like, about this process? It's so stressful. And she's like, do you want me to feel worried? And he says it would feel, quote, a little more human and be like, quote, oh, fuck, we're in this together. Like, in other words, he wants her to also not want to get married.
And she wants him to want to get married more. So it's just like a fundamental disconnect.
More than not at all, which he
More than
clearly
zero.
does not.
Yeah. Which is a lot to ask from this person at this stage.
Because he's not excited to meet her family, I think, on some level, because he's like, her family is going to notice that I don't like her. Madison says Joe's name a lot. I really noticed it in this conversation. She's like, no, Joe, I don't really have reservations, Joe. I went into this to find my person, Joe, and that's what I thought I did, Joe. But yes, Joe, day-to-day, Joe, when you shut down, Joe, I do have reservations, Joe.
Oh, that might just be it's like a personality tick.
I think that's something that she does. I think it's because she reads self-help, but we'll get to that later.
Oh.
Finally, she's like, I guess I just need to be more of a negative bitch then. And he says, well, I just want to talk through this. And she says, I am. And he says, yeah, but without being like, it's the end of the world.
I don't think that Joe realized what he was signing up for. I think he thought he was going on like an MTV spring break show. Like, I truly am like, do you know what this was?
Well, at one point, Madison even calls it out. She says, like, this is a show for marriage-minded people. Like, where do you think you are?
Right.
Not there.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I was hoping I would get to maybe marry someone I thought was hotter. That's what I hear. That's what I'm hearing in every one of their fights.
I think, it gets so bad that he starts laughing in his like defensive way that he does.
God, it's
and she
so
starts
uncomfortable
doing
when he does that.
It's so bad.
They have very specific patterns in arguments where he gets overwhelmed and starts laughing derisively, and she gets overwhelmed with frustration and starts ranting about how she feels like an idiot for like being with someone who would put her in this situation. Basically, I can't believe I was excited about you. I feel so stupid. I feel so embarrassed.
There's a lot of negative self-speak from Madison, for sure.
Yeah, because she doesn't know. Yeah, she doesn't know where else to channel her feelings of like anger and disappointment.
And she can't really process the fact that maybe this isn't the partner for her, but she's committed to it. So she's not willing to just
She wants him
maybe
to
I
be
don't
like,
like you.
no, you're
Yeah.
not stupid. I
Exactly.
do love you. You are
Exactly.
amazing. And that's
And it's
not
just
gonna
unfortunately
happen.
not going to happen. Like there
'Cause he
are
doesn't.
pieces of my own, like my most unflattering dating history that I can like see sometimes in Madison.
yeah, when you were
You're like-
26.
Yeah, when I was 26. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's she gaslights to the point where she's like, maybe I'm not marriage minded anymore. Maybe that we should put this on ice. She takes off her ring, and he says, this reaction makes me never want to tell you my emotions ever again. And she says that this is him turning it around on her. I like Madison more than Joe, but I actually think that they both handled this interaction so badly that he
Yes.
is right, that if she responds with so distraught, so angry every time that he expresses his feelings about the process, it's going to make him keep them to himself. And she is right that he is also pressuring her to feel differently to make himself feel better.
Yeah. And I do think that in like a regular adult relationship, if you're like, hey, this might hurt your feelings or this might cause a whatever, but like I just have to express myself and like this feels scary to me. And like this is
Yeah.
nuts, right? Any other person might be like, "Oh yeah, no, this is totally nuts and I'm right there with you. Like I feel that and like I'm here for you." And
Yeah.
there is a bit of like ego bruising within that, I'm sure, but I think it's a lot more likely that both parties are sort of like, this is crazy, right? Like I'm nervous, right? Than to feel so offended that somebody
Yeah.
might have a reservation. Like,
We've
well,
seen
yeah, that feels
couples on
natural.
past seasons talk through that much more. Like they'll sit down and
Effectively.
be like, let's see where we're at with saying yes. Like if you're not feeling good about it, why? And that doesn't mean there aren't negative feelings, but it's like these couples keep having these arguments in the most unproductive, self-defensive, reactionary ways you could
It's tough.
imagine, or
And in a way
reactive
that
ways.
like does not address the content of the feelings. It's
Right.
just like either I want you to react differently or I want you to say the thing that will make me feel better in this moment. And like they don't resolve anything.
Right. That's why you end up with this couple where I think deep down they both now do not like each other anymore. And for different reasons, can't admit it to themselves. And so they keep having this surface level fight where they lash out and then they make up about having lashed out at each other.
Mhm.
But that doesn't get at anything underneath. So the next time we see them, Joe does apologize again. Like he just doesn't sound like he gives a fuck. But he's like, I'm sorry for how I expressed my feelings to you. I see why that made you upset. I am here for you.
And she goes,
I'm
"I
here
put
for
the
you."
ring back on. Yay." And he goes, "Yay."
Well,
it's
and she
so
jokes
weird.
that she was going to make him repropose, and she laughs like really hard, and he doesn't.
He's
And it is
dissociating.
very
I want to
awkward.
take Madison out for a coffee and I want to give her some tough love. And I want to say, Madison, there's someone else out there for you that's really going to love you and you're valuable and you're worth it. It gets
And this
better.
is not it.
Yeah. I want her to know that.
I know.
This scene was also like just as a visual cherry on top of this. The way that they hug to make up is that they are talking while she is sitting on a couch and he's sort of awkwardly standing near her and he comes over to hug her while she's sitting down, but he doesn't even really lean down. And she's like, oh, I guess I'll get up. And then they hug. And it just seems like two people who are just in every way completely out of sync and out of tune with each other. Like they don't even
It's like they've
feel
never
a
met.
natural way of hugging each other. Yeah.
I've never
met.
seen a season of the show with a higher number of misaligned couples.
Oh,
I-
just like essentially no one to root for.
Nobody.
And I very rarely sit in a podcast recap of this and say they don't like each other or he doesn't like her, because relationships are complicated and I'm often like, who knows what's going on. There are multiple couples in the season where I truly strongly believe they don't like each other.
Same.
I know. That was my note to my. I was like, no
Yeah.
one likes each other.
You're like, they hate each other. All of these people hate each other.
Yeah.
So they do go to Joe's very 27-year-old dude apartment.
I mean, it's less 27-year-old dude and more just like an IKEA model apartment with a Bible in it. It's so
It's like he
and
killed
a
somebody
PS5.
and he's on the lam, is what it's like. He's running from something.
I know.
You know, I do understand Madison's reaction that just like, well, at least there is something on the walls.
Like, I actually, if I'm looking at this positively, I would be like, it's clean. There is art on the walls that he clearly got at IKEA. Like, it's not disgusting, right? But it
it's
looks
not
like
disgusting
it's not.
and it doesn't look like a mental hospital.
It does, but it looks to me, as someone who is skeptical of Joe, like an apartment set up by a friend while he was on the show, and he has never lived there. Like, it looks like a model apartment that was not, even.
I feel like the metaphor
well
for their
designed.
entire relationship is at least there's something on the walls. Like, are we willing? What are we
Yes.
willing to accept here?
Yeah.
No, the bar's in hell.
In his kitchen, he has one plate, one bowl, one pan, and one spatula. His freezer is full of meat.
Yeah, Allison, what do you think about this? What do you think he can cook with this?
He could make Jordan's famous smoothie. I
Does he have a blender? We don't
I
know.
don't
we don't
know.
know. That's true. He's
could
not
make
making
nightly
anything. You know, his
steaks.
mom was like, "You need a this," or someone was like, "You need a that," and so they got him something once, and he's
They
never
got him
looked at it
one
again.
bowl.
There's
I
nothing.
will say again, I have to be fair. When I met Greg, he was 28 and his apartment was worse than this apartment. And so
Yeah.
I cannot judge. It's
That's
tough
fair.
out there. But the freezer full of meat was an interesting little flourish on top
I
of
think
all
that
of
his parents
this.
got him meat. That a freezer full of meat as a 27 or 28
like a
year old
butcher
man.
box subscription or something that someone
Gives-
gifted you.
I got
Yeah.
you for Christmas of something of meat. Is-
Yeah, Joe, I'm worried that as a red-blooded American man, you're not getting enough steak. Don't worry, we've taken care of it. He's like, I don't know how to cook it. They're like, we'll send you a pan and a spatula.
Yeah. That is what that all says gift to me
Yeah. He keeps his books in cardboard boxes in the closet.
because he doesn't read. Probably.
They are all self-help books. So
Oh,
even if he reads them, what good are they doing?
I mean,
Apparently,
this is just the classic type of reading that anyone who goes on a reality dating show does.
yeah. Yeah. And she also loves self-help books. So there you go. And I was like, oh,
Of
she's
course.
definitely read How to Win Friends and Influence People because say people's name a lot. They love hearing their name is like one of the top
Oh,
pieces of
interesting.
advice in
I've
that
not
book.
heard that.
Yeah. No, that is a very like self-optimizing habit to form, saying people's names to them a lot. It makes people feel warmly about you.
Wow.
I immediately forget everyone's name. So
Same.
thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I don't even remember, but I'll ask Emma later. They meet Joe's family, which goes well.
I'd say the most warmly I
shockingly
feel
well.
about Joe the whole series thus far is this meeting.
Because his family seems
Because
cool too.
His
Yeah.
family seems lovely.
And he tells them that being in the pods was like marriage counseling every day, which like so much marriage counseling ends with them completely dysfunctional. unable
Worse
to
than when they came
communicate.
in.
Yeah, I was like, I think you need to find a new setting for couples therapy.
Someone asks her if she's in a good place to start this next chapter, and she's like, yes, I am ready for marriage and to be a good wife to Joe and have that reciprocated.
She
And they're
owns a
all like,
home. and I'm
wow,
like, what?
amazing answer.
I know.
She
She said
doesn't.
she has a house.
Yeah, people are always talking about Megan, but
Maybe that's why people live in Denver, because you can own a home.
You can own a home at 26.
Yeah.
Joe is thrilled and feels closer to her seeing how his family has responded to her. He says, it just reminded me of everything that made me fall in love with Madison.
This is the most warmly I feel about Joe and the most warmly Joe feels about Madison.
I felt actually really irritated at Joe after this because I was like, you don't like her. What you like is that you brought home a little prize and your family patted you on the head for having her, and that made you feel good. It has nothing to do with her.
I just don't think that he can recognize that.
Oh, I don't
think,
either.
Yeah, I think that he's like, wow, my family really likes her. I did a good job. Like that
Right.
he's reflecting well on me. I think that's exactly it. But in his mind, he's like, so maybe I do love her.
Right. And I'm like, the fact that you can't tell those things apart is why you are in this relationship still when you should be long gone. Like you're trying to figure out if it's like you're going to be perceived well for being in this relationship. Megan and Jordan, let's talk about them. They check out their new shared apartment. She's like, I'm excited for you to see my taste, like my sequin shirt, because I'm
My one
Sparkle
sequin
Megan.
shirt.
Megan. And they talk about their current living situations. She has like a place in LA that she owns, and that's where she's been living. She's transitioning back to Denver. Jordan says that he has like a 1-bedroom and Luca has the bedroom. And Megan is like confused and he's like, you'll see. It's humble, but it's nice. And she's starting to get stressed about the stepmom element of all of this.
Fair enough.
She's quite
Super fair.
emotional. Like throughout the night, we see her getting more emotional talking about this with Jordan. She's like, I'm nervous to meet Skylar, his mom. And Jordan is like, there's nothing to worry about. She's going to love you. And Megan's like, but I am nervous. Like, it's a big deal. Like, I've never done this before. I don't even know when I'm going to meet Luca. And then we're supposed to get married. And Jordan's like, it's fine. You're easy to love. He's easy to love. It's going to go great. But she wants to know about details. She's like, I don't want to overstep. I don't know what the right things are to do with him. Like, I want to buy him gifts, but I don't know if that's okay. And he's like, we don't have to buy Luca anything. And she says, well, my love language is gift giving. And Jordan is like, well, then you should, but don't go crazy. He doesn't need a $100 Lego set. Like, I want him to work for things and develop that work ethic. 5-year-olds should get jobs too, in my opinion.
Yeah, work harder.
Yeah, put him to work.
And Jordan says it would be more impactful if Megan made an effort through experiences, like finding an ice cream place with gluten-free cones that he could enjoy. Like, he's like, Luca loves just spending time together and like showing affection and like having a good time. They check out his apartment next. He does indeed have a nice 1-bedroom that is extremely clean. The Roomba is just
Always
zooping around.
on.
And he sleeps in the living room so that Luca can have the room. He sleeps with the TV on. And Megan is like, no.
She's
not
like,
like.
absolutely not.
That ends now. Have either of you guys ever done that? Like, just slept with the TV on all
When
night?
I was like 21.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s, I sometimes would fall asleep with the TV on and
Yeah.
then
I would
like,
fall
wake
asleep
up
to, like,
and turn it off.
Murder,
I just
She
feel
Wrote.
like
Yeah, exactly.
Greg was a big, like, he always had the TV on at night when we met, and it's like a white noise kind of thing almost. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and just be so frightened and like alarmed, like, and unsettled by the lights.
It
And,
is
like,
the light. The light is
Yeah,
the
the
problem.
light.
This is why I transitioned to like sometimes listening to podcasts to go to sleep.
Yeah, you gotta adjust away from that, Jordan. She does love his cleanliness. The fridge is empty, but he was going to be gone for a long time for the show.
That's the thing. I feel like you can never really judge the fridges
Yeah.
because
They know they're going to be
kind
gone.
of gotta empty your produce if you're gonna be going away for at least 10 days.
Yeah, that said, if you
Yeah.
came to my house and you were like, okay, I'm going to be gone for a month, you would open my fridge and there'd be so much stuff in it. But, I'm perhaps an extreme example.
No, my fridge is disgusting because it's always full of stuff. And,
Yeah. No-
is that better? Who can say? He shows her a dino stuffy that Skylar's friend made for
It's really
Luca
sweet.
with a little insulin pump, like kind of sewn on. And they both start crying. And so did I. It's very like touching to kind of
These two are like the least alarming couple,
Somehow.
I'd say, in the
Mhm.
bunch somehow,
Yeah.
even though I still have concerns. Like there is like, seems to be a genuine affection between them. They are having conversations of substance. They seem to
I think they
listen
like
to
each other. I think they like each
They do
other.
not hate each other.
No.
They are extremely misaligned in many important ways that might be hard to bridge, but I do think they actually like each other still.
I agree.
On the 4th anniversary of her dad's passing, they have lunch with her mom and sister. And I thought this was really fun. Her
Me
mom is like a
too.
real spark plug.
Sparkle
I
mom.
really,
Yeah,
sparkly mom.
She is more sparkle mom than Megan is sparkle Megan.
I agree. I really liked her mom and sister.
Me too.
Yeah. And they love Jordan. And they're very natural together. You can see why Megan likes Jordan in part because her mom seems to have a similar sort of wavelength of humor. He's wearing like a very bold short sleeve shirt with like bright blue stripes and then daisies all over it. And she's looking at his tatted sleeves, and she's like, I would ask why you don't have any sleeves on, but you don't need them because you already have them. And then she like laughs really hard at her own joke. She's like, you thought you were the only funny one. And he tells him that he got a vasectomy so that he could reverse it when he was ready for kids. And her sister is like, very progressive of you. Don't just make it the woman's choice. And when Megan goes to the bathroom, he asks for their blessing, which he enthusiastically gets. They are very pleasantly surprised, clearly, that Megan is with someone who is different from her exes.
Yeah. Well, it seems like her exes have been rough. Like the relationship she discussed with the billionaire sounded terrible.
Yeah.
So they seem to be relieved. Like this guy is personable and warm and funny and they have a good dynamic.
Yeah.
But then, and I was really feeling good about Jordan.
Yeah.
And then we were introduced to Jordan's daily breakfast, and I
Shook
Yeah.
was
to the core.
shaken
This
to
is
my
going to go down
core.
in Love is Blind history.
It's so
This
the
is
recipe,
one of the most upsetting things I've ever seen on television.
I still kind of can't believe that it's real. I feel like there's something Like, it's got to be a joke.
There was deceptive editing. Do we know for sure that this was actually consumed by any humans involved in the
drank
making
it.
of this show? There were cuts,
That's true.
Was it replaced? What we are shown is that he puts into a blender every morning a baked chicken breast from a Ziploc bag, water, and Crystal Light like powder.
Oh my God. I'm getting nauseous just
And
hearing
blends it like in a
described.
NutriBullet.
Blends it into a paste.
Oh,
And then he chugs like a large like NutriBullet like container full of this.
I'm so
Pulverized
upset.
chicken.
They're discussing the texture of it. It is described
He goes,
as
yeah, it's a little,
gritty.
it can be a little grainy.
Gritty.
I'm like, well, that's because you pureed a chicken breast. But why not just eat the chicken breast? I love chicken breasts. In fact, one might say it's my favorite part of the chicken next to the wing. I don't
But you
understand.
wouldn't recommend blending it with
Not
Crystal
in 100
Light?
fucking years. But like, I
I'm like,
just
do you have so little time that you're like, I can't be bothered to
to
chew?
eat it. Yeah,
But,
exactly.
like-
or do you have so little interest in eating or food? Like he's giving, I mean, the whole thing is giving food as fuel. Like I
Right.
derive
Yes.
zero pleasure in the culinary arts. He calls it baking a chicken breast, which that's its own problem, but that's small potatoes. But like, I just,
Guys, I'm so upset by this.
I'm so upset. She goes, why don't you just like make 6 eggs?
He says that this is faster. Is it? You have to now wash out a NutriBullet that's full of little tiny flecks of blended chicken.
Oh my God.
You have to
I'm
bake
just
the
imagining
chicken in
him-
advance.
Him pulling out the like big bag of like Tyson chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast from Costco, like dumping it onto a baking sheet and like putting it in like a too low oven, and him like not putting much salt or any on it and like putting it in the oven until
Well-
it turns white, and him being like, okay, like that almost horrifies me more
To
than
be
the blending.
fair, it doesn't need much seasoning because it's going to be a sweet drink, as we know. He
That's
uses
fair.
Crystal Light powder, so it's sort of like a sweet, fruity chicken smoothie.
I need to know where he got this recipe. Like, what influencer are you following, and how do we punish that?
And
I think that they have a
person? Like,
podcast. I think we can all agree that whoever told him to do this has a podcast, and we got to find them and we got to tell them to cease and desist.
yeah, like this. I'm sorry. There's a lot of pressing things going on in our nation at this moment. This might have just jumped to the top of the line.
Is this somehow cheaper than protein powder or Soylent or like?
It's almost certainly cheaper than protein powder and almost certainly has more protein. But like,
But
And
just eat
protein
the
powder is
chicken.
gritty and disgusting enough, to be honest. And
yeah, if you're eating like a cup of it at a time. And then he like shows her his muscle and is like, check it out. As if this is the only way to achieve like a toned physique. He's not like
It like
a
I think
bodybuilder.
I think it's okay, Jordan. You can eat a normal meal.
yeah, like he's not.
he plans to do this for the rest of his life.
I
She
think that would
says-
be a deal breaker for me.
She's like, she tries it, first of all, which she's a stronger woman than I am. She retches. She's like, I could do without ever seeing this again in my life. He has a
Same.
chicken puree slurry mustache on his mouth.
It's so repulsive. Like, even if you took out the Crystal Light, I would be so aghast at the concept. But
Agreed.
adding the Crystal
Yeah.
Light powder
It's
takes
even
it
more.
to a level that is, again, I feel like we're being punked. Like, this is not an actual thing a person can do. It's just, it's so foul.
Why would you do it?
And the only recipes I see on the internet that involve any chicken puree are for making baby food.
Right. And that
I
is so
have a
gross
baby,
that I
and guess
refuse
what? I'm
to
not
do
doing.
that.
I'm not
Yeah.
pureeing a chicken breast.
No, yeah, it sounds bad. Even like you shouldn't subject
Yeah.
your child to that. But like, I don't know. Like, where did he get the idea for this?
I don't know how this could have possibly ever come to be. I'm remembering that once my brother told me that he had made like a soup with sausage in it and beans, and he went to puree the beans with the immersion blender and forgot the sausage was already
No.
in there. And he was like, we had to
Oh.
get rid of all the soup. It was the texture is
No,
so
yeah, you have to throw that
disgusting.
away.
That's in the trash.
Jordan would be like, I want that so bad.
I don't
How did you
puree
get
Jordan would
anything.
be like,
And
put
it's
like a
because-
funnel. He wants to like. I don't. Oh my god! Sorry, I'm like at a loss for words. I'm so upset
upsetting.
by this.
And he says, you're gonna be seeing this every morning for the next like 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years.
It's
I'm
so
gonna be
depressing.
doing this. Okay.
Jordan, you're allowed to enjoy food. It's okay.
And again, you could just eat that chicken breast and go about your day.
Eat that chicken breast. Drink some Crystal Light if you must.
If you're
okay?
going to do this, you have to do it where no one can see you.
It's not even
do
like a
make
straight up
Megan watch
electrolyte
this.
powder. It's Crystal Light, which is
right.
giving you what?
Oh, God. It's just flavoring. He wants his chicken smoothie to be like raspberry flavored. I'm so upset. Okay, we have to move on.
We do have to
simply
move on.
must.
They go to look at homes together, which is bizarre. Megan's like, a home is definitely one of the things I don't skimp on. I mean, most things I don't skimp on.
We know.
Unclear what, if anything, she skimps on. She tells the realtor her price point is $1.5 to $2 million, and Jordan seems shaken. The house they look at is 5,600 square feet, or as he notes, 4 Roombas worth. It's 6 bedrooms and 7 baths. Every bedroom has its own bathroom. And Jordan's like, what am I even going to do with this space? And the realtor, fortunately, is there to spitball ideas for what you could do with all of these rooms.
A workout room.
Like, yeah, spend $1 million more on a house. You'd have this bedroom. What do I do with the bedroom? Well, think of something.
It's for working out. It's for your kids. It's for the guests. It's for the office. It's for the,
Yeah, I was like, it's 3 of them. Like, they don't need a house that's
because it
6,000
also has
square
a
feet.
dedicated office. Like, it has all this other space. You don't need the bedroom to be a workout room. Like,
No.
And Megan loves it, of course. Jordan tells Megan that he likes the house, but he's thinking about how much it would cost to furnish it, which me too. He's like, I don't want to be a burden and I'm not strapped, but I'm financially conscious. And I'm thinking that he is not in a financial position to probably furnish half of a 6-bedroom home right now. And especially he's like, this is a nice place. You can't just go to like rustic hardware or whatever.
She's restoration
hardware.
That was tough.
She has like $1.5 million from her house in LA when she sells it, and she wants to go in together on a mortgage for the last $500K. As someone who is not wealthy from the oil and gas industry, $500K is a fucking lot. Like, he lives in a one-bedroom apartment.
To have lying around.
Right. Or to be on the hook for a joint mortgage for. Like, this man lives in a 1-bedroom apartment. He does not really seem like someone who is looking to get into the $500,000 mortgage game right now.
No. If he did, he would probably have a bedroom for himself to sleep in.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I also am going to say, given what you can clearly get for $2 million in Denver, seems like they could get a really large, nice house for 1.5 and not even have to have.
Or 1.
Or
750.
Right.
Or
right.
500.
Yeah. You can get enough bedrooms for all of them for less than $1 million in the New York area. Like,
where, Claire?
I mean, I'm not saying that you're gonna love the town, but like, there are
like in the
options.
burbs. In the burbs.
As someone who's trying to be in the housing market right now and who doesn't have $1 million budget, like, there are places you can look. And she's like, no, it has to be 1.5 to 2. Like, I don't know.
Sir, is there like a money laundering angle? Like, what's going on there?
Maybe she wants to like invest in a property as well as live in it. They're looking for different things. And
I think that's what we're seeing is there's just kind of a mismatch of lifestyles. And he's like, I was honestly afraid to even ask the budget
That's
of
not
what we're
great.
looking for, which, that seems like that should be something they should be able to talk about.
Like, he's sort of both impressed by her wealth and kind of like excited, like, oh, I've been drafted into the big leagues. Like, my chick's like the breadwinner. But in practice, he's like, well, how am I supposed to act about this? What's my place? And in a confessional, he's like, I don't want to feel like a mooch. I don't think she would see me that way, but I might feel that way. And it's hard for any blue collar guy to absorb her providing the whole house because I'm used to being the provider, but I also don't want her to feel like she has to take a step down in her lifestyle. And that is like a really hard, like, you can say like, oh, well, that's male insecurity. But I think I would feel the same, to be honest. Like, you're coming to this with a kid and like you're attaching your lifestyle to someone who has so much more than you. What if it falls apart? You know,
Yeah,
like
that's tough.
what's your role in it? Would you feel like a
It's-
guest in your home?
It's tough to feel so dependent. And it's not like an insurmountable challenge, but it is a real challenge on both ends to navigate that like disparity.
Yeah. Especially if you're like not even sure that you're actually getting married, which I'm sure on some level they both aren't
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Because they've known each other like 2 weeks.
for 48 hours. Yeah.
So let's talk about Allie and Anton. They both work night shifts, which is like, is that why they picked each other? That's such an incredible coincidence that they have the exact same relatively uncommon work schedule. He like trains like truck drivers, I think.
And she's a nurse.
She's a nurse. So we see them making like a date breakfast of steak, eggs, and berries with mimosas. It's really giving paleo.
Yeah. They each
Oh.
get a T-bone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
What?
The food habits of these people truly need to be studied.
It's
And
really,
RFK
really
Jr.
wild.
is doing exactly that. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
He's really doing the most in Denver.
Our Lord and Savior.
And I think that we really start to see this dynamic I mentioned earlier kind of coming through more strongly now that they're back in Denver, where they're smiling, they're sort of like being flirty, but what they're actually saying is passive aggressive and clearly hints that they are both feeling some level of irritation with the other that they don't want to express.
Yeah. He calls her passive aggressive.
Right. And I'm like, you're being
You
being
both
passive
are.
aggressive by calling each other passive aggressive.
It was the first time I was like, oh, shit, you guys don't like each other either. Because
Yeah,
up
they don't
until
like
this
each
point,
other.
I was like, oh, they're the only couple that seems to really like each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think they're very attracted to each other. And then they move in together and we start to discover that maybe they
Yeah.
don't actually like each other.
I think they also liked things about each other that they were signaling about the kind of partner they would be by saying, I want to have traditional family values, but they conceive of those things a little bit differently. And this is one of those conversations where they're dancing around that, and Anton is clearly not pleased with her answers, and he doesn't want to say it directly. Because she's talking about how she's about to go back to school. The last time she did that, her mom, like she lived at home and her mom just took care of all the housework and everything so she could focus on school. And she's like, when I'm in school, cleaning isn't going to be a priority.
and you can see that Anton is like, no, that's why I get a wife. So she
Right.
does cleaning for me.
But he doesn't say that. He just starts to get cranky. She also doesn't want to work much while she's in school, and he says he can probably support them. But she still wants to get Botox, and he is not sure about that. He also brings up bank accounts, and he doesn't understand why she wants separate accounts as well as a joint account. And she says, maybe I don't want to tell you how much I spend on Botox. And he's like, oh boy. But that's all he says.
Well,
I
think the weird part is he's like, what's the point of having a joint account and separate accounts? Which I thought was a little red flaggy.
Yeah.
Yes, that really, I felt the exact same. I was like, no, actually, it's like, should very much be on the table.
Right, as if,
one of the
like, as
partners
soon as we
wants
get
that
married-
to
Yeah.
right, to have some financial independence, to have some control over money that is only in her name, like seems very reasonable to me.
Yeah, I think a lot we do that. Like
Same.
we
Yeah.
don't want to have our personal spending or saving like surveilled because you want that sense of like independence as adults, and security, but also like you need a joint account for household finances. Like that's totally normal.
Normal.
And especially as the man to be like, I don't think you should have your own account. Dude, like let her have her own account. And I think also like he loves how she looks, but he, like many men, is like, I love how you look, but I don't want to pay for the maintenance of that.
Right.
That
And
should
she's
just
like,
be
that's my
some-
right as the sort of beautiful sparkling gem, as the lady in this relationship, that you will pay for my maintenance.
Yeah.
And
if you want me to
support
look this hot, then it's going to require an
Right, that's part
undisclosed
of
amount
it.
of money each month.
But I think a
Right.
lot of men are like, well, I don't want to like see evidence of that labor. I don't want to
No,
like
of
bear
course
any
not.
burden for what
Right.
that like labor and maintenance costs. I just want you to like show up and be perfect
And also
and I
clean a
think
bunch of stuff.
and clean for me.
He did
Right,
say
when
if
they've
I
heard
cook, you
traditional-
clean, and if you cook, I clean.
Yes, I did appreciate that.
I was like, okay.
He will wash the dishes sometimes.
Yeah. I think that like when they said traditional values, he heard housewife.
She heard you're going to pay for
You're going to
everything.
pay for me to have nice stuff and Botox.
I would agree with both of
because
them.
Those both kind of
like if someone said traditional values, I would say, yeah, I would say traditional value. If I heard that, I'd say, well, then the expectation would be that the man pays
Yeah.
for everything and that the woman kind of stays home and cleans and stuff.
Right, but it turns out that they both heard you're going to do all the traditional stuff for me, and I won't be doing the traditional stuff for you.
Absolutely. Yes,
Right.
yes.
And
And
they're
there's
dancing
suddenly, like,
around that
wait.
here. And she's kind of trying to needle at these things because I do think she actually wants to have it out. I don't think she's being entirely fair in her read of traditional gender roles any more than he is, but he is the one who is like being unresponsive to the needling and is kind of just
He's like, let's change the subject to
Yeah.
engraved sweaters. I think he means embroidered.
That was
Yeah.
tough to hear.
Well, he is they are both like second language. English is both of their
Oh,
second
you know what?
language.
That's
So
fair.
I
yeah, no,
tried
I
to be
think
more.
I think
Sorry.
that explains that for him. But it
Yeah.
did take me a moment
It
because I was
threw
like,
me.
engraved.
I was
Yeah. What are we
assuming he was
engraving?
just out of touch with the embroidery community, which
Like, also fair.
yeah.
I'm also out of touch because I was thrown. I was like, what do you mean you want to go get sweaters embroidered with Mr. and Mrs.? Like is that a thing people are doing? I wasn't aware of
No,
this.
I think you just like
I don't
order
think
those
so.
on Etsy, right? Or like,
I don't even do that. I
know.
don't need a
I mean,
sweatshirt that says Mr. and Mrs.
No,
Are
I
people
don't need
doing
that.
this?
I'm just assume that if people do
I
that,
guess
they
you
like
can. But
yeah,
I,
order it on Etsy.
he says it would be a once in a blue moon thing. And she's like, I think just once is plenty.
She's like once in a well, you could hear the like disgust. She was like,
Yeah,
that
no,
is
she's
so
getting the ick.
cheesy, and I don't do cheesy stuff. But like, I guess I gotta give it up for her. She is so trying to do things that are outside her comfort zone to make this work, it feels like. And this is a prime example of her just being like,
I will
I
engrave
absolutely
one
don't want to do
sweater.
this. You're so cheesy. That's so cheesy. But
Yeah.
okay, you know?
And we keep seeing this with the men being like he doesn't want to talk about the serious issue she wants to talk about, and she has to let it go. And then he's like, anyway, we're gonna get sweaters embroidered with Mr. and Mrs. And she's like, okay, man, like sure.
Sure. And things take a turn for the even worse and weirder when Allie and Anton go to meet up with one of Anton's closest friends, Joe. And Joe's girlfriend, Melissa, who we learn he is very serious with, but has only been dating for 4 months.
For some reason, that really threw me. I was like, what do you mean you're meeting his friend's girlfriend that he's known for 4 months? For like 1 month of that, Anton hasn't even been here.
That just
Like, he
screams
barely
of they
knows
didn't have
her.
anyone else. So the producer's like, we need someone at the table.
Right. It makes it seem very unserious.
Yeah. Well, a lot
And-
of these men are deeply unserious.
Correct.
And before they even arrive, Allie asks Anton if there's anything she needs to know about his friend. And he's like, there is. And she's like, what? And he's like, nothing. Won't tell her. Joe arrives in a shirt unbuttoned to the nipples and plenty of gold chains, and immediately is like, we're going to do so many tequila shots.
It's like 1 p.m.
Yeah, and kind of like a nice-ish restaurant. We also learned that he and Anton worked at McDonald's together when they were younger, and they used to shut the store down for 4 hours just to drink, which Allie is obviously like, why would you say that on television?
She's like,
Or at all.
your old boss is like gonna see this.
Like, she was hearing manager at McDonald's, and she was like, you are a responsible, hardworking teen like me.
He's like, no, I would shut down the restaurant to binge drink.
yeah.
So
So
some
late-
things are starting to add up for her, I think. Some red flags are starting to stack at this point.
The ladies go to the bathroom, and Melissa immediately starts spilling the tea. She's
This
like,
honestly kind of killed me that Melissa's just like, oh yeah, let me tell you everything about these
Immediately.
two.
She could not wait. She couldn't wait.
She's like, I can't believe Anton is getting married. And Allie's like, oh, was he not the marriage type before this? And Melissa is like,
She's like, no, the marriage type. He's the strip club type, actually.
yeah. She's like, do you know if they're going to a strip club for the bachelor party? Because Anton likes to go to strip clubs with Joseph. So I'm worried. I hate it when they go. And Allie is like, oh my God, like, I hate that. That makes me feel sick. And Melissa's realizing that this is not the side of Anton that Allie has heard about. So she's trying to walk it back. She's like, oh, it was when they were single. Don't worry about it. Like, that was a long time ago.
And Allie's like, so maximum 4 months
Yeah,
ago for
between
Joe?
1 and 4 months ago. And Allie's like, well, I heard Joe is a party guy. And Melissa's like, it's both. Meanwhile, Joe is telling Anton that he thought he'd be back in 2 weeks and it wouldn't work for him. And Anton starts being like, you and I were both a couple of fucking brats. We're menaces. And Joe says, she's going to hate me, bro. And I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here with the edit. It seems like Joe and Anton are confirming everything that Melissa is saying in so many words.
Yeah.
I mean, why would Melissa lie?
Yeah.
Sorry. Like,
She has nothing to gain.
No, I don't think that she would lie, but it's funny that they are literally sitting back at the seats being like,
It's
she's
like,
going to hate me. I'm a
she's-
bad influence. Like, we're menaces, man.
the only person I've ever heard call themselves a menace on television is Louis from Perfect Match. So
Yeah.
it doesn't bode well for Anton.
Paints a picture. After this chat, Allie seems stricken. She feels like Anton made it seem like Joe was the guy who was driving the crazy party behavior, and now she's really not sure whether Anton is ready to settle down. So she heads back to the table and tells Anton he's in trouble, but they'll talk about it later. We do not see them talk about it later. So we
just see them
know what
arrive at
happened
the
there.
pod mixer looking tense after having a freighted conversation about how you can flirt if you want to. I'm not your mom. So seems like these two are kind of cursed.
Yeah.
Went downhill fast for them.
Really fast.
Should we talk about Edmund and KB before we get into the mixer?
Let's do it.
They
So-
move into their new apartment and
Scene.
immediately I was like, oh, KB is raising a child, not dating a man, because his first reaction to moving into a new apartment is to fit his full body into the cabinets.
Oh my God.
And then he's like, that's me in the closet. Look at this. And KB is like, do you need me to close it? Like, what?
She's trying.
She's
She-
trying so
You
hard,
can
and I'm
see
like,
on her face.
you are
that
disgusted by him.
Yeah,
You can
are
see on her
like,
face that
really-
she's trying to convince herself that she is not disgusted.
She's trying so hard, and
She's
then
like, am I
finally
being
she-
ungenerous? Am I being unkind? Like, she's really
Right.
trying.
No, she's trying so hard, and then she's like, whatever makes you happy, baby, makes me happy. I'm like, this is such a mom-coded thing to say to her toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you love eating the sand out of the sandbox? Well,
Yeah.
we don't do that, but whatever makes you
I can see that
happy.
it makes you happy. Yeah, I also think that it's just this season is weirdly so redolent with like sexual repression imagery, and so the sight of one of the men stuffing himself into a closet, is
yeah.
so wild.
It's really wild.
Just to drop that into the whole stew of the gender anxiety that's happening. Edmund's mother comes to meet KB. He makes his mother a beautiful pancake, and Calibria is so welcoming.
He's using like a pot as a mixing bowl. I just, again, the adolescent vibes are so strong.
The tools you have in hand. Yeah, he also seems to be cooking the pancake for a really long time on each side because she keeps being like, "Can I flip it?" And he's like, "No, it's not cooked yet."
He's doing the low and
And-
slow technique, which a lot of
Yeah,
people
I was
know
like,
about.
is he making
love
a
that
Dutch
for
baby?
pancakes.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And at first, his mom seems welcoming as well. She tells KB that she had a bead girl in Ghana make a gift for her. She gets them for all of her daughters-in-law. And she's like, I want you to travel to Ghana with me one day. Mostly, she seems to want to talk about her travels in Ghana and how she wants to be in Ghana.
I do think his mom mostly wants to talk about herself.
But when KB goes to the bathroom, things get a little weird. She starts telling Edmund that she raised a good son. She's like, that's a lot of good work I put into y'all. I can't just go letting anybody have y'all just because they say, hey. And given what we know about Edmund's childhood, like, it seems like a little bit out of touch with, it seems like the fact that while she loved him, she was unable to actually put in a lot of the work that was needed to raise him. And that's something that he has had to work very hard to overcome to still have this relationship with her at all.
Yeah, I felt a little bit uncomfortable with like the lack of
Like, she's like, I raised you so
awareness
you're mine and I'm
conveyed.
in charge. And I'm like, but what about the fact that, like, it seems like you weren't really able to do very much to raise
Which
him?
clearly this is a person who's like been through a lot, and like
Yeah.
I think we all have like the utmost like empathy for that experience, but also empathy for Edmund and like his siblings and what that must have been like. And so you would sort of hope that a parent with their adult child would be able to also express that of like, I wasn't always able to parent you in the way that I wished I could, but like, look what an incredible adult you have turned into. Instead, it's like, I own you and I did this.
Yeah,
And that dynamic,
it was tough to watch. I think
was
that it
tough.
also
It was a tough watch.
was like illuminating in explaining a lot of him and KB's dynamic, where it's like she is very maternal towards him for better or for worse. And I think that he really craves that. And I think him repeatedly in the pods was always like, I want a family. I'm going to do family my way. I'm going to like, he's trying to sort of compensate for that lack of relationship. And I think by being with her, which isn't really working for KB, she's like, well, that's not what I signed up for. But, and I think seeing it like firsthand, that was, I really
no,
felt
I think
for
you're
him,
completely
honestly.
right. No, I think he's like clearly been through so much, and I don't know. I find there were moments in these dynamics that just like felt really painful and almost like, should we be watching this?
Yeah, I felt that way too. I was like, this felt a little irresponsible on the producer's part, if I'm honest. And I say that as a person with a very complicated relationship with a parent, in a way that I'm like, that it wasn't like funny or fun. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it was not. And it starts to become clear that this is also going to really affect KB very directly, because she starts telling him, well, you only get one chance to make a good first impression. And like, I looked at her Instagram and like my sister and I were basically not impressed with what we saw. But now I meet her, I like her. So I guess she's been mollified for whatever she saw on KB's Instagram. And then she tells Edmund that one of her daughters-in-law always goes and rats her out to her husband, her son. But she can tell that Calibria will be able to talk shit directly to her. And KB walks in the middle of this. And she starts over and says the same thing to her. She's like, I hate when my daughters-in-law rat me out to my sons. And KB is like, well, everything doesn't have to go back to him. And his mom is like, exactly, thank you. You're the first one out of the 4 I have to actually say, I don't have to tell Edmund everything.
Yikes. I was like, oh, I feel bad for her.
I was uncomfortable.
daughters-in-law.
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, when that's one of the first things I'm hearing from my future mother-in-law, what I'm hearing is, you are going to treat me badly and I am going to not be like allowed to talk to your son about it without that furthering any
divide.
breach.
Yeah, that's an interesting power play.
That is how I took it too. And I was like, that would concern me.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, why is this arising? So this has actually literally never come up with my mother-in-law, that we have a conflict that I need to tell Greg about, like ever, or that I need to deal with her. So, and clearly it happens with her all the time. So the fact that you
With
have
all-
like this
all the
policy about
daughters-in-law.
it, I know, I'm like, it's starting to sound like the problem is you. But KB is very receptive.
She's
trying
really
so
trying
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is
She
like
wants to
trying,
make
and
it work.
she's trying to invest in this and like make Edmund's mom feel as comfortable as possible. And she does achieve that. Like, we end this meeting with like a happy pop song playing. They're all laughing. We're meant to feel like this went well, even though I think we all left it feeling a little hinky.
And then, as they're contractually obliged to do, Edmund orders KB something from Amazon Prime, and they show the unboxing with great ceremony. It is rollerblades for her. As we know, she loves he loves to rollerblade.
I could not believe we didn't see a whole bunch of unboxings of various like Western themed garb.
Wait, I
given
didn't even clock that they were contractually obligated to do it.
Oh, every season for the last few seasons, you see them like ordering from Amazon Prime, being like, "Wow, it's got here so quickly."
Wow.
Yeah, thank
I
goodness
am
they could
such
overnight
a mark
this so that
I didn't even notice that. Wow. I'm the
I
target
don't
demo.
literally know if they have a contract currently, but this does seem like
Clearly
it could
there's an
fulfill it.
integration. I
'Cause
think
it's
there
a-
is a brand
100%.
integration
There is a
here.
Prime box, and he says, I had this overnighted. So I think that would fulfill.
If it's not, it should be.
It should.
And if it's not, they
I think
shouldn't
it
say
is.
the name on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they always show the box that has like the Amazon Prime branded
Yeah.
like tape
Yeah.
on the outside. I mean, yeah.
And if
Clearly.
if you're not being paid, I would not want that in a frame of my show,
Yeah,
personally.
no, certainly not.
I'd be like, Edmund, wrap up those roller skates in a nice gift box. So it's time for the pod mixer. They get together at a very empty, cavernous honky-tonk bar with a mechanical bull in the middle of the floor. And immediately Edmund gets on the bull. And after he is thrown off, eventually he tells everyone that his balls hurt.
These people cannot miss an opportunity to speak about their genitals. Also in like
because
the least sexy way possible.
It's because they are all, and I say this with love and care, they are all emotionally stunted. Like there are so many stunted people on this show. Like
Yeah.
Casey too. Like a lot of these people were like raised in like I think settings that made it difficult for them to fully like.
I think
become
also I
emotional adults.
realized I'm 40. You know?
That
I was
is also
like,
true.
oh, are they stunted or am I 40? Question
That
mark.
I think both things
Probably
can be true
both.
because I watch a lot of
Yeah.
reality TV starring 20-something people, and this is
That's fair.
unusual.
Oh, okay. See,
And that's
this
the
is
thing.
this is famously the only reality show I watch, so I feel like
But
really
what other
locked
season?
in.
What other season have you ever seen this though?
yeah,
Like,
this is unusual
this
even for
much.
Love is Blind.
You
Like
think
this
so?
brand.
Yes.
Yeah, or it'll be a standout. Like we'll
That's
have
fair.
like Cole.
That's fair.
Cole,
That's fair.
who seems
Cole- oh,
11,
God,
but
he was
everyone
bad.
else seems like an adult.
That's
you know,
fair.
like
yeah,
also some
is
of these
especially
people
bad.
are in their 30s. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know. And then poor KB is like, I can rub your balls for you, and I'm like, free yourself. You're at a party with all
free
of your friends.
yourself from the shackles of the ball fondling in public,
Oh,
okay?
God.
You don't
Yeah.
have to do this.
Megan tells the gals that she met Luca's mom off camera and it was chill and normal. And his mom is obviously concerned about Luca being on camera, so she's going to meet him off camera.
As she
in
should be.
person that
I
week.
was,
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
was like,
they
this
should
is
never allow
appropriate.
this child on camera. They should. I'm shocked that I had so many feelings about that. I'm
Yeah.
very glad that that's ultimately what everybody decided.
No, and we have seen because there were two single parents on Love is Blind France. Like I don't think we've ever actually seen someone's
Yeah.
kid on the show.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But the way that they like played it out, like they were going to force it to be on
Maybe.
camera
Yeah.
somehow.
Mm.
Obviously, there's no reason for it to be on camera when you could meet off camera. Allie tells them that she and Anton have met no family, just Anton's friends who told her that he loves strip clubs and partying. And she's like, I'm concerned. She's also like, he has 2 beers every morning after his night shift, and I don't want a husband who drinks every morning after work.
Fair.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like a lot of people, sure, after work you have a drink to unwind, but like a lot of things are like coming together
Stacking
to paint a
up.
picture that is concerning. Patrick is the first single to arrive, and he tells the guys, and therefore us, what went down with Casey. Shocker of shockers, he has not seen her one-on-one in Denver, even
What
though she
a
clung to him and was like, I'm not
surprise.
breaking up with you. I
Yeah.
love you.
Shocker. She has basically ghosted him and also is keeping the ring because for emotional damages, I guess.
Because she does love him. So she's keeping the ring.
The most deranged thing about this is that she is continuing to this day to give interviews saying she was not trying to break up with him.
What did she think was happening?
Also, I'm like,
so
but then you
baffled.
could have seen him. You didn't see him.
Right. Like she's texting him saying the show's too much for me. I don't want to do it. And he's like, that's fine. We're not doing the show anymore. I just want
He's
to
like, what are
talk
you
to
doing
you."
tomorrow? And then she like goes silent. And even the other men are pointing out, you're not on the show anymore. You guys
Right.
aren't filming.
And he says that apparently one day after they got back, she told him, just tell everyone we're broken up for now. And he's like, what do you mean? But she won't talk to him like on the phone or in person.
Yeah, because
to
she
actually
doesn't
discuss
like
this.
him at all and never
She
did.
doesn't like him
and
even a little, and for some reason refuses to own that. Even
Because
now, a
she's-
year and a half later.
That's so nuts. I also am like, the whole thing is so embarrassing.
Yeah. I feel dumb because I felt kind of bad for her, even though
What? When?
I think that it is very uncomfortable to meet someone out of the pods and be like, I will never be attracted to them. How do I handle this in a way where I don't look like the
Sure.
worst person ever?
Well, you don't straddle them when you say goodbye.
You don't do this.
I didn't say that I took her side. I was saying I was like, I feel a little
Yes.
bad. It's a tough situation. She handled it like so badly and was very inconsiderate to him, which I said all of that as well. But I can't even believe I felt bad for her because now she's acting like she is the victim here. She's like, oh, you
No,
act
it's
like
so
you're the only
deranged.
one hurt in this scenario. Like, I was also hurt by what? What did he do? Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Maybe you hurt yourself. Maybe you hurt your own feelings, Casey, and you embarrassed yourself. That's not his fault.
You don't get to keep the ring because you're embarrassed that you weren't attracted to your fiance and you had to break up with him on national television. Like,
and didn't even, and then broke up with him like over text, but also like didn't.
tell everyone else we're broken up for now.
And also then obviously refused to come film
Yeah.
this mixer. Like, no.
You got to give the ring back. Like, I don't understand.
You have to give the ring back.
I'm sorry, he deserves the ring for emotional damages. Like, neither of you paid for it. Give him the ring.
I think actually the show needs the ring, which is why I'm so
The
baffled
show should
by
ask
what's
for the ring
happening
back.
here.
That should honestly, that should be in the contract of when you agree to do the show. If for
Right.
whatever reason you don't get married, whether it's before you go to Mexico or at the altar,
That's what
you
the
give the ring
Bachelor
back.
does.
You
Like,
give the ring
I
back.
would assume. It's a very strange scenario. The men keep talking as though they have purchased the rings. Like, I remember Anton being like, I spent
we know they
$5,000.
weren't. We
I
know
don't
they
know what's
didn't.
going on.
It's like
But I do
Monopoly
know that-
money.
Yeah. But I do know that Casey should not have the ring. That's one thing I know for sure.
She shouldn't at all.
Yeah.
I did not like her.
No, I regret even the slightest shred of human empathy that I extended to her, as I so often do on this on this podcast. So Anna also shows up, and Patrick immediately his antenna go up. He refers to her as one of my favorite girls and kind of ribs her for leaving him high and dry. He says, if you would have stayed, we would have gone all the way.
And Anna's like, okay, let's chat. So they sit down and chat. And Anna does apologize for ghosting him in the pods. And she says, like, I thought we were going to be buddies. And then I got very caught off guard when feelings developed. And she says, I probably should have given it more of a chance. But then she says that when she learned he got engaged, she knew he would be okay. And she's like, I kind of knew then that it wasn't me anyway. But Patrick is still operating in the world of the show. So he's like, no, it would have been you. Casey was my backup. So I just had to go with my backup because you left. And Anna's not impressed.
Which is like so repeatedly the narrative on this show of like, and then Anna says exactly what she should have said, which is like, if you were actually in love with me, how were you able to get engaged to somebody else?
Right.
And he's like, well, because you left. She's like, well, you're not answering my question. Like, if you're actually in love with somebody, how do you just get engaged to somebody else?
Right. If you felt so strongly, you could have said, I'm going to leave and also pursue her. But Patrick was like, well, I'm still here. So I'm going to go try to convince myself to be in love with my number two.
Maybe this is me buying in a little too much to what people are presenting, but it's still not super flattering to him. I think that Patrick was so convinced that this was his chance to meet a woman who would like love him and accept him for who he is, that when Anna left, he panicked and was like, I can't let this slip away.
Yeah.
I have to do it. Like,
No, I think
Casey's
that's
great
correct.
too. And he convinced himself that Casey was the woman for him after all. And then when it fell apart, he was like looking back like, oh yeah, obviously
I should have. It would have been Anna.
it
No,
would have
I
been
think
Anna,
you're
which
right.
I think it would have. I think if she'd stayed, I do think he would have picked Anna.
I agree.
And
Absolutely.
he just was like clinging. He was like his fingernails, like white knuckling, like, I gotta get a fiance who's never seen me before. So like, let's make this happen.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
His storyline is just such a bummer. I want him to move away somewhere.
I know.
Where there are,
I was like, leave
other Asian
Denver,
people, like just
go like free yourself from this like whitewashed hellscape.
The lack of diversity leading his sort of fact-finding mission to find love was like just
So
I mean,
depressing.
yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
And understandably, Anna is not receptive to this because it's like he's trying to make her feel bad. And she's like, well, you I don't want to feel bad about this. Like, I made my decision. You made your decision. It's fine. Like, it wasn't me. And she's like, I was also torn between you and Blake, but I didn't tell either of you that I loved you. So it's different. Like,
Mhm.
you said you loved me and then you proposed to someone else.
And Patrick's like, Anna, you said some really profound words that have really stuck with me. When you know, you know.
Who else has said that recently that we,
I was
Who
like,
hasn't
wow,
said
yeah.
that?
all the perfect couples say.
Coined by Anna. What an original quote.
Yeah.
I think sometimes Patrick talks a little bit like he's like chat GPTing response to an essay question. Like he's like, it reminds me of the famous quote from Anna, when you know, you'll know.
Yeah.
That's going to get me, like my word count is coming
This
up
whole
here.
season
Like,
is
we're
giving
doing
chat
great.
GPT. It's
Yes.
all giving
ChatGPT
brought
wrote
to you
this
by.
whole season.
It's like, it's sentences shaped out of words. And Mike
Inspired
arrives
by humans, but not.
yeah,
by
inspired
humans, but-
lightly by humans.
It's romantic declaration shaped accumulations of words. Mike arrives and Megan immediately feels the chemistry. He is indeed like her type. And he pulls her for a chat by asking Jordan if he can steal his girl temporarily. Because obviously that's Jordan's decision. And he tells her that he was put off by the Sparkle Megan thing and he imagined she'd be more tacky. But he's little does he know she's actually not sparkly at all. She's normal amount of Sparkle Megan. He also apologizes for making her cry, and she says that it just bothered her that he left that conversation early. When he was kind of like trying to play that game and being like, I want you to want me, so I'm going to go. She's like, why did you leave? I wanted you to stay there with me through it, even though it was a tough conversation. And he's like, yeah, I do regret that.
This whole time, Mike is like really trying to feel out if the door is still open. And Megan just repeatedly closes it. He's like, so I wanted to DM you. And she's like, thank you for not.
Yeah.
Please
he's
don't.
also he's also still doing his thing of like lightly negging Jordan without acknowledging that that's what he's doing.
It's
Where
like,
he's
so
like,
you
I'm
still,
so
are you happy with the decision you made? She's like, yeah.
She's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, I see you don't have an emerald cut engagement ring. I would have gotten you one.
Yeah. She's like, apparently he had none to choose from. And he's like, well, yeah, I don't know. I looked. I would have gotten you one. Like, just to see those little, like, I'm not coming at Jordan, but just FYI, he has failed you.
But Megan does not take the bait in this because
No.
she seems very secure in her position. And she's quite honest. She's basically like, I didn't even trust you enough to like be away from you for 1 week.
Yeah. I didn't think you would be faithful if you went away on a 1 week long business trip.
So,
Which I agree with, actually. He does seem like a serial
again,
cheater.
we know that there are many claims about Mike being a full scammer. So I think she did really make the right decision.
And we know that he's platonically saunaing with his ex constantly. But she's like, I do love so much about our similarities. We fit so well. But she's like, I am going to marry Jordan. Brendan also shows up, and Annie just starts talking full shit about him to the women. She turned on him so hard.
Mhm.
No, she's like, you didn't affirm me enough, and now I fucking hate you.
She's like, he wouldn't fight for me. No, he wants everything to be easy. He wants everything to be handed to him.
As if she like really knows him.
Right.
Like, no, he just didn't affirm you as much as Nick did, so you picked Nick.
Well, I'm also still baffled by what she means by fighting for her in this context. All they can do is talk through the walls. Like, he came to that date after missing the window to be the one to pick her first by, it seems like, a few hours. He comes to the next date and like basically begs her.
Yeah, that is verbal
That's what fighting
for
is
someone
in this
Yeah.
scenario. There's
Like, what do you
nothing else
want?
you can do.
I think she
Yeah.
just wants him to be awful so that she definitely made the right decision.
100%.
And she will like, retcon. Everything he did is like wrong because she picked Nick.
They do hug and sort of say hi, but he clearly feels very awkward and unsure what to do. So they're standing with Anton and Joe, and he lets them kind of draw him into conversation. And Annie interprets this as putting the lie to his claims that he loved her and that she was his first She's like, in the pods, he said I was his first priority, but seeing how he's acting tonight, that's obviously not true.
I know,
Annie,
what's
you
he supposed to
rejected
do?
him.
You rejected him.
What do you want? What do you want, girl?
Like, do you want him
She's trying to
to-
fill a void. She's trying to fill a void. It's tough.
Yeah.
I do wonder if she wanted him to like pay
Make a
really
play for
market
her.
attention to her so that like Nick would be jealous, so that she would seem
Oh.
desirable
Mm,
Honestly.
or just to feed her ego. I don't know.
it's a lot
Or
of
maybe-
ego feeding.
Yeah. But Brendan does seem to the camera to be obviously pining. He's like watching her across the floor. Jordan is telling him, she and Nick, they're so quirky together, bro. Like, they're so quirky. You're too smooth for her.
He's like,
And-
she's really quirky.
Yeah, I feel like Jordan's like, it's not good, man.
Yeah. They're so quirky. She's actually a lot like Nick, if you're picking up what
Yeah.
I'm putting down here, bro. Like, it's for the best. It wouldn't work.
And Brendan's like, no, I feel like it really worked. And Jordan's shutting it down. He's like, can't see it, dude. Let it go, bro. No.
Well, Brendan is like, honestly, I think kind of the boy version of Annie in a sense, in a different sense than
he
she's
like
the boy version.
imprinted.
He imprinted. He's like, I want to be married. Here's a woman for me to marry. Why isn't she just saying yes to marrying me and loving me the most? And that's kind of Annie's mode too. And maybe that would have been enough, but I don't know. I don't see it either.
No, I don't think any of these
It's like
people should be together.
it's so the classic thing of like anytime you date somebody for like 2 dates and then you think about them for the rest of your life because you've never experienced how they're horrible. And so you idolize them. It's
Exactly.
like everyone they didn't pick, they're like, could have been.
Maybe they
It's
would
like,
be perfect because I can project that vision
Exactly.
onto this person. I
Would've
don't
been
know.
awful.
Yeah, I think that she would have a similar issue with Brendan where she'd always be like, you're not being over the top demonstrative enough and it's making me question whether you love me, and now we're having a drunk fight about it.
mhm.
Afterwards, Edmund, KB, Nick, and Annie and some others are in a group conversation. Edmund is like, we're all pretty great, but no one's perfect. And Annie is very cheekily like, no, Nick is perfect. Edmund's response to this is that it would be crazy to be able to hear that, even if it's not true.
And at this point, KB clocks in, and it's clear that she's like already annoyed at Edmund. And she's like, what? What would it be great to hear? And when she hears what they were talking about, she's like, Edmund, are you like out here comparing our relationship to other people again? Like, what are you doing? She's like, stop making it sound like I don't do enough for you.
Which is very triggering for her.
Edmund-
She doesn't like it when he
Yeah.
talks about the other couples.
And he
Yeah.
does it in a way that I think must be so infuriating. It's very like this sort of like almost naive, like
It's
childlike way.
childlike. It's like, well,
they
Just
have
like,
it. They
"Oh,
have
isn't
this
that
thing."
so
Yeah.
cool?
Like,
Yeah, it's not
it would be
fair.
so it would be so cool if I got it. It would be so cool if I got like to have sex with you, and it would be so cool if you were just praising me all the time.
Yeah, but like everyone else gets to have ice cream after school and I never do. It's not fair. Like that is the mode.
It's
And
tough.
And-
KB is so frustrated at this point. She's just like done. And she kind of snaps. She's like, you think this is the place to bring this shit up? And this just escalates quickly into a full-blown argument. And they allude to the fact that they got in a fight earlier in the day, but they do not explain what happened in this fight. Edmund's like, you walked in with everything that was wrong. And KB says, well, why? Why do you think that was? And he says, because something was wrong.
Yeah, like he's
But we
like,
don't
you're
know,
never
right? We don't know what happened.
No,
Okay.
they
We
do
don't
not
know.
explain it. And she's like, well, that's the problem. You don't even understand what happened. And then she says, like, you're being fucking weird, and walks away.
Yeah. And he follows her. He's like, I love you. She doesn't want to hear it. She's like, I don't want to just hear I love you. I want you to grow up and be an adult and talk to me about stuff.
And this is the core of their problem. He is not an emotionally mature adult in the ways that she needs him to be in a healthy relationship.
Right. Like he just basically criticized her directly in front of everyone. He's like, you don't say enough positive things about me. He actually said that too.
Yeah.
And then when she's upset, he's like, I love you. I love you,
You know,
homie.
I
Don't
think
be
it's
mad.
it's not like unlike a Joe Madison dynamic where like I don't think she's into him anymore, and I think she
Yeah,
probably
I
doesn't say that many
agree.
positive things because she doesn't feel it because she's like, you're a
Or she's
child and I have to take
annoyed.
care of you, and I'm annoyed. So he's
Yeah.
like, why don't you say nice things about me? You know, it's like it's a
I think
vicious
that's a really
cycle.
good point. Yeah, that
Yeah.
they're just in a cycle that is not making anyone
But also,
happy.
like, calling her out for that in front of people is like the least productive possible way to be like, it seems like you're always annoyed at me and we need to figure out what's
I'm
going
gonna
on there.
annoy you more in a very public
Yeah.
setting.
So he goes back to the boys and is like, I'm about to die tonight. And Jordan is like, well, you should just, be accountable, walk back, say you're sorry. But KB is not feeling very receptive. She goes to the ladies' room. She starts sobbing. Madison checks on her and she's like, I just don't get Edmund. And it seems like she doesn't want to talk to him for like the rest of the night. Nick and Kate finally have their chat about what happened in the pods when he was like, I'll love you forever until we're 10 feet under the
My
ground.
love will never change for you until
Anyway,
it
I
does within the course of
don't
this
love you.
conversation about God.
Suddenly, I'm not even right there with you. I'm actually a little bit, I'm down the mountain and you're up on the top of the mountain. He's like, I should have been more direct with you. I've never been in love with two people. All the things that men always say on these shows. And Kate says she feels like her emotions were taken advantage of. He rescinded his love so quickly. And he says, well, he's just such an honest and truthful person.
Okay, sir. Sure.
And what could he do but be honest and truthful? And Kate is like, you said that you loved me and that you couldn't get there with your other connection. So obviously I was shocked to find out that you and Annie had gotten engaged. And Nick is like, well, you were holding back with me. Like when he said he loved her and she wasn't ready to say that yet. And he was like, it's fine. I'm here for you. My love for you is eternal. What he actually meant was, I'm clocking that one. You're holding back. I'm going to shop around.
Yeah,
for
and he's
someone.
like, oh, this other lady's saying it back. So I think I'm going to choose her. And then Nick puts on like the sob story. He's like, I looked at myself in the mirror the night I broke things off with you, Kate. And like, I hated that person. Like, I didn't even know who that person was.
I do.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, it's all very tragic.
consistent pattern of behavior.
But
Yeah,
I do
actually,
feel
we're
like he
all
believes
aware.
it. I feel like he believes
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
himself.
I do agree.
You
I
know,
think
he
he
takes
believes
himself
his own
so
bullshit.
seriously that I do
He
think
believes
he's
his own
like,
bullshit.
he thinks he's like a good guy.
Oh, he's,
you know?
I'm a nice guy, capital N, capital G. And Kate is like, so you told Annie that you were in love with me? And he's like, yeah, told it all to her. No problem here. Meanwhile, Allie is chatting with Annie and she's like, oh, is there like drama between Nick and Kate? And Annie's like, well, Nick's just trying to clear all of the drama. And Allie's like, yeah, I mean, I heard that Nick love bombed her.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did.
Because he did. And Annie seems taken aback. She's like, well, no, he just loved me more. And Allie says, okay, well, that's what I heard from Kate. And so after this conversation, Annie is pissed at Nick, but she won't tell him she's pissed at him. So she just starts ignoring him, which seems productive.
Well, they are at a party. So I'm like, it's always awkward to be like mad at your partner at a party and like, when are you going to talk about it?
They get mad so quickly, like on a dime. Everyone's pissed all the time. It's crazy.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And that's a disaster too. But like, it seems like what's going on here is that he told Annie, I loved both of you, but I loved you more. And she sort of envisioned it as being this sort of like gradual fostering of connections that she like rose ahead. And she doesn't really understand that he was like, Kate, I'll love you forever. Nothing will ever change that. I love you more than Annie. And then he very abruptly took that back.
Right.
I'm
and was
dying
like,
to know
"Never
like the
mind."
internal monologue, like actually what he was like, actually how he made that decision. Like what was actually going, like, because
I don't even know
the
if
viewer,
he
I'm like,
knows.
I have no idea.
No, it's very opaque.
Just a complex mix of narcissism and homophobia, just like stewing
He's
around.
like, who
in
can I
there.
more easily deceive into a lifetime of closeted?
Yeah, and he's like,
behavior.
the one who believes in God. That
Yes.
seems better.
Yeah, honestly, that might have been it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that was part of it. Jordan and Joe obviously hate Nick, which is complicated because I also hate Joe. But
it's amazing how your hatred can grow to so many people. Like, don't,
yeah.
Claire, you don't need to limit it to just one man.
And when you
Spread
see
it
them fight,
around.
it's like fun because you're like, but I don't like either of you, and I love
I
watching
know,
you
but
in
getting Joe
conflict.
drunk and having him talk shit was like,
Oh,
it's
it's
so
great.
easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
He gets so drunk and
I
is
want to note that they
so-
are back in Denver here.
Yeah,
I
no,
know. I gotta
he is at that higher elevation. He's still getting very
What
drunk.
I'm seeing is that Joe is someone who likes to get super fucked up. And when he took that to maybe a lower altitude, he
got
overshot it
blacked out.
into being basically almost alcohol poisoning. Like, I've never
Correct.
even been
Yeah,
that
he
blacked
needed a
out in my
stomach pump
life.
that night.
Yeah, this is just like for him, a more normative level of being absolutely wasted. So he's just like loudly yelling about how Nick probably just does missionary while Brendan would switch up the positions.
Yeah. And Jordan is laughing and being like, yeah, no, you're right. Shut the fuck up, though. Like, stop. But that's so funny. And after Joe tells the camera that Nick is a great guy, some might say, but he's like, I don't fuck with him too much. Could be the best guy in the whole entire world. Fucking ain't my guy, Great hat tonight. Anyway, no, I don't got nothing else to say.
It
about
was
Nick.
not to trigger anyone. It did remind me of how our president talks.
I had the same thought.
Yeah.
It was like
Yep.
so nonsensical, contradictory. This, that, but could be that. I could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Amazing.
Could be the
It's not
best
for me.
guy.
I don't like him, but he is amazing. Could be.
And that
Potentially,
mingling of I'm joking but also serious, and you can't quite tell where one
he's
begins.
like, no, but
and the
honestly,
other.
I
Very
fucking hate that guy.
unsettling.
But honestly, he could be totally fine.
Yeah, not for me
Yeah.
though.
But not for me. Yeah.
All of a sudden, you expect Joe to start being like, and I wish the scorches of hell upon my enemies. Like, no, that's sorry,
That's JD Vance.
That's CNN.
So Kate and Madison also debrief. And Madison tells Kate that multiple people don't like Nick. And Kate says no one likes him. Everyone thinks he's calculated. He's fake.
He's fake. And that's the
Yikes.
first time I ever hear it articulated. And I'm like, yes, here we go. Next episode. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, you're like, what's gonna come here?
I do still weirdly feel like he and Annie might get married. Like maybe she is exactly the mark he's looking for.
No way.
Maybe she, no?
I
Am I
like,
being naive?
I kept going back and forth. Last episode, I really thought they would. This bout of episodes, the way they end things, I'm like,
Yeah.
but also here's
so
the
much
thing.
can happen. And
He's gonna bail.
He's gonna have to be the one to bail.
He's going to
because she will not bail. So it's really going to just be up to him. If he decides he wants to engage in this delusion forever, she will be game.
Yeah.
And if he decides he wants to leave, he will leave. And it's just all the power is in his hands.
All I'll say
So
is
where
going to be a very interesting reunion when not one couple is either married or still married.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge
Not
fucking
one.
mess. It's going to be very hard to follow.
Also, I'm going to say they're doing so much press in a way that is unusual that makes me think that, none of the couples are in a great place. They're not safe
sure how
in
to market the
anything.
conclusion. I
So-
also thought it was very bizarre that Madison was like, oh yeah, Joe told me he wants to get me pregnant. And I was like, that sounds like something he said during sex. And like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about
yeah.
it.
She's
Like,
like,
you
he
need
said
to-
that. And
does
she
not-
goes, yeah. I'm like,
no, he doesn't like you. Like that's, I'm just like,
He
ugh.
doesn't like you. He's just able to fuck you. And like that's all you're holding on to right
Ugh.
now. And it just makes me
Poor
sad for
girl.
her because
I know.
she seems great. Like she deserves better than this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
But she's
such a
also playing
bummer.
into it. It's just like a real bummer.
She just
So-
really wants to believe him. And so like
I
all of
know.
his like nonverbal signals and micro expressions and everything that's so clearly conveying to everyone else that he doesn't like her, she is like refusing to see them.
So the
And
way
I
that
don't
we
think she likes him
actually
either.
So the way that we actually end this batch of episodes is a very tense exchange between Anton and Allie, where Anton asks Allie what she's been telling the rest of the group about where they stand. He's like, I'm kind of keeping it on the down low. And she looks him dead in the eyes and says, I've been telling the truth. And that's where we end. And you're like, oh, the vibes are bad.
is that?
Yeah,
I'm like,
bad
and
vibes.
my thought
all
was,
around.
is that creative editing? Like, is she just like the truth? Everything's great. Or is it like, you know what I mean? I don't know. We don't
Given
know.
what we don't know, they could always be misdirecting us. But I'm not feeling good about really any of these couples.
You know what that said to me, actually, and maybe we'll see more. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. It said to me that they are trying very hard to put a front on for the cameras, and there are deeper issues than they have been like kind of upfront about.
Owning.
Like
Yeah.
he's like, I've been telling everyone basically like we're good. I'm kind of keeping it on the down low. Well, if you are good, then what are you keeping on the down low?
That they've been broken up for days.
Right. Yeah.
Are you broken
they've
up?
already
Like,
I was going to
decided
say
not
weeks,
to
but they
get
haven't even known
married.
each other for weeks. So yeah, for days.
Yeah, we'll see. I've personally not feeling great about this group of people right now. Allison, thank you so much
what
for
a pleasure.
joining us.
I'm so, what a gift to be able to yap about this beautiful,
Oh my
beautiful
God.
show with you guys.
It was
Please
a
tell
gift.
everyone listening where they can find you and your work and how they can get your new book.
Well, the book will be available wherever books are sold, November 11th. But yeah, you can pre-order now. And everything else you can find on AlisonERoman.com.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Please
Thank
come
you
back
so much.
anytime.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. What a delight.
Now it's time for our signature friends to enemies scale. Disclaimer, as we do every single episode, this is tongue in cheek. We do not know these people, and therefore this is not that serious.
Except about some people, they know who they are. And so do you. First up, Casey in absentia, but still her presence loomed. Even more of
Enemy.
an enemy this week.
Absolute enemy. Mike remains my enemy. He's not beating the scammer allegations with this bout of episodes. Nick,
Enemy.
enemy.
Hardcore enemy
I don't
for me.
trust him. I don't trust him. Edmund,
I didn't enjoy spending time with middle school boys when I was a middle school girl.
No, in fact,
Like,
it was the worst time in my life.
and he is like the worst ones in class. You know, he's not even like one of the mature middle school boys who will like talk to you about John Grisham or something.
He's one of the ones that would like snap your bra strap and then make a joke about periods.
100%. Edmund, I believe, he's my enemy. I
have so much empathy for him, but I need him away from me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I need him away from me. I need him away from KB. I wish him like continued successes such as he has had. I wish him continued healing and growth. But the way he is behaving with KB is making me upset.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He is still my enemy. Annie.
Annie's my enemy still. I will never forget the homophobia thing.
That's the thing. It's kind of hard. It's kind of impossible to recover from that. I also just like the position she's putting herself in really bums me out. The way she's talking about Brendan, the way she's not like giving herself any space to actually assess whether Nick is a good, healthy partner for her.
There are points where I do like find myself taking her side and feeling sympathy for her because I don't trust Nick, but she is still my enemy.
She's still my enemy. Anton is my enemy. I'm sorry. He's for so many reasons that we have outlined in the past 2 hours.
Joe is my enemy.
Definitely still my enemy.
Allie, I think, is still my frenemy. I think we are not aligned on a lot of values, and that's a lot of what they talk about is
But
like
she's
how
not
she
my
wants her
full-
Botox paid for and stuff.
She's not my full enemy. She's
not
my
full
frenemy.
enemy. She wants a man who wears nail polish sometimes, and I do
support
love
that. Brendan is my distant acquaintance still,
Yeah, I still have no idea whether I like him or not.
but he like seems fine.
Megan, I think, is my frenemy. It's hard for me to overlook a lot of the Maha and like tech startup like ickiness of the pods. I didn't love the way that she was like, I need a $2 million house with 6 bedrooms for me and my 2 other family members. Like, there's just a lot about her I don't vibe with, but there's, she's not as bad as you would think.
Yeah,
From
she
that.
grew on me, I will say, in this. Her and Jordan together grew on me in this bout of episodes, even though I think they are like very misaligned in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So frenemy, but like I have a warmer feeling about her than most of the other people on the season.
Yeah. Patrick is... he is my friend, I guess. Like... he's not a friend that I necessarily like look up to or like, in that sense. Like, I feel like he's got so much to figure out, but I did take his side in the Casey thing. That's mostly what we see from him. And I feel like
Yeah.
he's pretty sad about the Anna thing, even though it's not really entirely fair
So
to like put that on her.
Yeah, sure. He's
Friend,
I guess, my
frenemy, friend. I don't know.
Right on the border. Anna is my friend. I'm glad she saved herself
Yeah.
by leaving.
Kate is my friend. I'm glad that Nick saved her. Can you imagine Kate
God.
being like realizing?
No. And I'm glad that Kate
She's like-
has the wherewithal to be like, this person is full of shit.
Yeah, just because I almost got engaged to him doesn't mean I have to lie to myself.
Yeah. Madison is my friend that I want to get out of her relationship so badly.
Yeah.
And, like, demand better for herself and like seek some perhaps better ways of coping with hearing hard truths in relationships.
Jordan is my friend. We will never get breakfast together. I will only
Jordan
see
is
him
my
after noon.
friend, but you know what? We're going to have some really long talks about the chicken smoothies.
No, I never want to hear about it. I'm like, that's a part of your life you're keeping walled off from me. Like, I will see you during lunch to dinner hours only. That's
I
the
think you
privilege
got to
of
make
friendship.
it dinner only just to be safe.
Just to be safe. And Calibria is my friend.
Yeah,
So,
she's my friend.
man, we've got a really deep
It's
bench
rough.
of enemies.
It's a
Still.
really rough season, and that carries over to our should they get married or date in real life scale out of 10. It's really looking bleak. I feel like I was almost grading on a curve.
Yeah, I don't even want to grade on a curve because I feel so strongly that these people should get away from each other. Joe and Madison for me is a 0. They do not like each other.
You know
he
what?
especially
0.
does not
He
like
hates
her.
her. He hates her. She doesn't realize it, but does hate him too, and is just looking for approval.
Right. This is not like a communication issue they can really fix. This isn't like some sort of hurdle they need to get over. They just don't like each other.
They don't like each other. They're not good together. 0% should get married. Edmund and KB.
0. I'm sorry.
Honestly, 0
I'm sorry.
because she has to get away from him.
Yeah.
She
he's
has to
not-
get away. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and I don't think he's like a fundamentally bad person. I have a lot of empathy for him. I don't think he is prepared to be in a relationship with KB. They are not
Yeah.
a good fit. They are in like a parental dynamic.
I don't know if he's prepared to be in a relationship with a woman right now. I think that his lack of like impulse control and like emotional regulation, the way that he was trying to like berate her into having sex with him, like these are all things he needs to work out and gain maturity around, I
Right.
think, before he's
And
in a
you cannot work
relationship.
those things out on a woman.
Yeah.
So 0. Nick and Annie, they were like our highest last time.
I'm still higher on them because I do think that their needs and pathologies might be more aligned than some of the other people. Like, I could see them having a miserable but presentable alliance. So that, to me, that's like a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 4 for them, and that feels generous.
Like, maybe that's all that these people are capable of having. Like, they could have
Yeah.
it with each other.
Anton and Allie. There are moments where I'm like, they genuinely are into each other, but there is so much that Allie is finding out that she doesn't like, and it also seems like the thing that connected them, which is their expectations around gender, are not actually as aligned as they thought.
Yeah, I think she's expressing things that she has found that concern her. Like, she clearly thinks that he, like, drinks too much. And I think he is noticing things about her he doesn't like, and he won't talk about it. So I'm at like a 2 with them. If they can really air all this shit out, we could see where things land, but my hopes are incredibly low.
Where are you at?
2.
A 2. I think I'm going to give it a 3 just because they're attracted to each other.
Not after she stops getting Botox
He will be paying for that Botox.
to save the marriage.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think they should. They should not get married. Jordan and Megan, oddly, like, I feel the best about them after this run of episodes.
Me too. And I think there are big issues that are going to make it really tough for them. But I could see them if they figure out like certain logistical and like, you know,
lifestyle
lifestyle-ish-
adjustments.
Like, I could see them being happy together because I do think they like each other and they both are motivated to make it work.
Yeah, like they are the people that you see having like real thoughts about what it would take to like be a present partner for the other person. Megan is taking into account Jordan's needs as a dad when she makes like plans about her own future. She thinks about Jordan's son. Jordan is thinking really thoughtfully about like his own feelings about the class disparity, but also like being as sensitive as possible to the fact that like he doesn't want to make Megan feel guilty for having what she has, or like feel like she has to, you know, in his words, like take a step down. Like they're just, and also, yeah, as you said, they just like enjoy each other.
Yeah.
And that's like more than we can say for most of these people. So
can we go over 50% with one of these couples? Do we dare?
I think I'm landing at like a 6 for these two.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's
Sure.
optimistic.
Let's be optimistic. Let's give ourselves something to root for. I would be so happy if none of these couples, honestly, ever spoke to each other
Same.
again.
In
But
a
if I'm
way,
going to pick someone to root for, I think it's them.
It has to be Jordan and Megan. Yeah, I sort of suspect that this is going to be the first season where we have 0 couples together, but we shall see. On that note, that is it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon and Emma Gray. This episode was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like our show, remember to follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, spread the word to all of your friends about Love to See It.
When you go to the bathroom to debrief, just let them know the real tea. Which
Is it
that
a
they
number
should-
2?
God.
Go to your special bathroom.
Oh my God. If you want to get in touch, you can email us at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and on Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. And you can find our newsletter Rich Text on Substack at claireandemma.substack.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at Emma Gray and on Instagram at Emma Lady Rose.
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Ship.
We will be back tomorrow with another Golden Bachelor recap.